really weird. Flippy's going to try and hold the plant right here. They need to do so, otherwise they run out of time. And they will confirm this. But here comes the Cosmic Divide. Everything's about to get a lot more difficult, but Aziz can try and make life a pain for Bleed. Remember, South Built, they only need to win one round, and this could be it. Aziz uses the dash midway through their spray. They fall in unison, and South Built deny the death of the Philippines. They're still in this.
It's a very close race. However, it's not going to be done in two legs. We're moving to our third bite of the sandwich, Shari. The sandwich of death, destruction, and carnage. As we're going to be moving to splits where we will settle the duke between the Titans of Southbuilt versus the Goliaths of Bleed. We're going to go to a quick minute. We got a 5-10 minute break. When we return, the action will continue. Trust me, it is going to get even closer. You do not want to miss this. We'll be back soon.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and
We lose ourselves in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Let them keep coming back, 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 keep coming back. Of things we know. We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should is no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep, and you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain.
I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll take till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. See you again.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. That it feels right. Feels right. So right, so right, so right.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground,
Harry, here we are. It's game day. It's our semi-finals, and it's our first semi-final in our third map. There isn't much separating these two teams, and understandably so, because let's be honest, Harry, they are both bloody good. On Ascent, we saw Bleed topple South Built 13-7, whereas over on Haven, South Built were able to strike back, I believe, 13-8. A really, really solid game from both sides, but now we move to our tiebreaker. It's split.
If there's anything we've learned about Self-Built over the course of this series, and of course this event, Kremer, is that they excel on the defense. They love a good retake, and they pride themselves in making you either use all of your utility or lose many of your lives in being able to actually get onto the site in the first place. As we head over to a split, Bleed will actually be beginning on the defense, so potentially they can start with a good bit of momentum to try and knock SBE off balance before the side swap.
It is all down to momentum, and in this case, Bleed, as you mentioned, over on Ascent, our first map, Bleed didn't drop around on their defensive side. They are solid on their defense, and for both sides, it feels like their attacking side isn't a let's see if we can win, it's a let's see if we can make our defensive side easier. Like that is how much pressure these teams put on their defense. And for South Built starting on their attacking side, if they even do such a little around as to just take the pistol, that can have massive influence in the kind of latter stages of the game when it will be so close. I promise you, Harry, this could absolutely be going to overtime.
You promised me this, Kremer, but we're already on map number 6 in 2 best-of-3s. As this tournament progresses, we are getting tighter and tighter when it comes to the skill differences between these teams. In our top 4, barely anything separates them. Remember, after this, we still have Boom, a reinvigorated Boom, Indonesia's pride Boom, versus Paper X, one of the best teams in Southeast Asia, who only just got here in a 2-1 quarterfinals.
That they are. I mean, this has been such a ramshackle affair. It's looking to be such a close game here, Harry. For now, it's going to be a very early start with pushed away, spearheaded by Jar, taking a bit of damage, but that won't deter him.
Jarpix could be caught up with here. They have been given over vulnerable, so they have to hide on away and hope that someone else can catch this aggression. But Aziz is already hitting the shots that they need to. This gives them a little bit of overheal. They can avoid the cluster as well, so such a bruiser they are going to be as we move further into this pistol. Jarpix safe behind the smoke, but it won't last forever, Kremer. Nor will Frosty's life, as they are already down to a little bit of health, and that forces the expenditure of Cressania's heal.
Look how quiet South Built have now gone. Look at the rotation it's caused from Bleed as well. Both Frosty and Jarpix have gunned their way to heaven, fully expecting there to be a flank. What it means for Jar now is on the extension of Cressania, if he gets this kill, this A site just swings open like a door in a gale. There is going to be Jarpix, who over by mid has the option to go through ropes, but as South Built pop into this default, he's going to be caught out.
Oh, the frenzy only good for one before Aziz takes the swing. And now first 11 Frosties. They're feeling a little bit more nervous. We've got a good one-way here to make use of. But Frosty is actually going to go under it. Deactivate the smoke, he says. I'm going to take this all by myself. That's one. Can Frosties get any more than this? They knock people back here with the blast pack, knowing that now they're going to have to go through these snake bites because they're so long on time, Kremer. They can't wait for it to dissipate. Aziz, though, is good on the move. The movement accuracy is wonderful. First love falls on down. They can start to stick the plant. Can it be stopped by Cressania? The answer will be no, as Jar lies in wait like a viper waiting to strike.
I love seeing the raise on Split. I really, really rate it as a character, purely because she can make such a deep inroad to a site that it just allows your team to swing out. However, with South Built, instead of going for the raise, going for the Rainer, it means you have the fight. It means you can tank 1v1s. Exactly what Aziz does there. One away from the Empress already, off the back of a very solid pistol round. For now, if they just plow in, I would love to see the Empress. Bear in mind, accompanied with a Spectre, it's already got a high fire rate.
Makes it even worse to deal with. Frosty's here. Tried to waylay the push, but now there's no subtlety here. It's all noise all the time. Tremor Aziz has found one. Another on the ropes is going to fall. And this is likely going to be a fast round. Holding on the other side, Crasania can't find a right click, and Aziz has got themselves a third. Could it even be four? You know, they've gone hunting. They've gone rogue. But Lexi is elsewhere. Jar with the Phantom is able to hit the shot they need to. And South Built make it quick.
Oh, Harry, they're starting to get really damn good, aren't they? South Built, they seem to have warmed up. That first map, they want to show Bleed that it was all just fluke. As we said in the pre-game, because both sides absolutely favour their defensive half, for South Built, just 3 or 4 rounds here may even be enough. We've seen the 9-3 comeback. Bleed did it to South Built on our opening map. Over on map 2, Bleed almost did it again. That's how few rounds you need in this series. For Papichulo, flanking to mid, looking to engage with both Crasania and Frosties as they play a bit of a passive setup.
No combination of slow and the... That was a little bit of a mistiming, I think, on the utility there from Repair. But who knows? Aziz, I'd love to see the Empress early here. Like, it's Aziz. You know they're going to get even more than this. Might as well see what you can get done with the high fire rate of the Spectre. Aaliyah, good to go. That is actually going to be taken away by the friendly smoke there. An interesting chance. However, it does mean that they can cross over into these ropes vaguely safely. But they are being ostentatious. They're being loud. Notice me and be worried about me.
Tell me they're going to cower. Go on, do it. Frosties, he's got a naughty little angle here up against this wall. Look at this.
Frosties, oh my goodness. We're already dead. Aziz makes it work. And now the attempted entry here from Crasania could go very wrong very quickly, but they've been undetected. That's one, but for second is not going to be forthcoming. Papachula manages to find that one, and Jar picks the second. They dodge out of a smoke. They're instantly found by Aziz. Lexi from the top. They got themselves an Overwatch. Micro needs to try and guard the plant right now. Oh, yeah, by the way, Micro's in. Flippy's out. And that means that Jar has been able to move over onto the jet.
We spoke earlier about, in an interview with Southfield, we spoke about, what influences the choice between Micro and Flippy, and it's all down to comfort. And something that we actually brought up in the interview was when you play a 6-man roster, you can't be predicted. There is no patterns to follow, because no one knows what characters you're going to play or which players you're going to use. In this case, Jarpix looking to aggress, but with only a Bucky, you're starting to see the... Never mind, a quick tech pause. When the tech pause ends, we're going to see just what could be done with Jarpix's Bucky, because he's going to go up against 4 players, and he's doing so with a... Well, now just a Sheriff. Either way, it's a tall order. They're really... These are fickle bits of... Now on... This is fickle decision-making, Harry. Do you know how hard it is to analyse people who are changing their minds?
Well, instead, we can talk about Southbolt Esports winning their bonus against the full rifle buy.
That they did. That they did. Aziz didn't
this is
even
almost
need...
a foregone conclusion of a round.
Yeah, Aziz didn't even need the Empress either. He just gets to a close angle and kills them. Something that I really liked, actually, from Pro there, was they see the Sage Wall from I believe, Crasania. Their way to sort of catch it out, and knowing full well that it was going to be held by Frosty, so you had a disgusting angle on it. He had a little pixel angle where he can see heads, but he can't be seen at all. So that was a nice setup. And for Pro, their solution, just wall over it. It means they can't use it on B in the retake, but it doesn't matter if you have the man advantage, because then you can just fight.
I think we saw a little bit of knuckle-headed bravery from Bleed on their defense to push through those smokes a little bit blind into heaven, and I think that allowed Aziz to get some really advantageous duels that one-on-one, if it was fair, you should be winning when you're at this level with a rifle. But the thing is, with guns in Valorant, Kremer, the more dangerous they are, the bigger they get. And so the earlier you can see them when they poke through that smoke, and Aziz, they've got the reaction time to really take advantage of that.
That they do. Harry, having seen the first 3 rounds here, do you have an inkling as to who's going to win this? Who's going to take the series? Who's going to be our first finalist?
Southbuilt being able to execute on their offense here really gives me a lot of hope, because I feel like they've built up enough of an economy here that they will be able to get maybe at least 5 rounds. Like, there's no way they get shut out here, right? Like, this is at least 8-4, even if Bleed just goes Super Saiyan the moment that they get onto their next buy.
That's
And I
true.
think an 8-4 is good enough for South Built.
I'm inclined to agree with you. However, I think that for Bleed, I think that when we see Chrysania in particular and First Love wake up, when they join Jarpix and Lexi with this fragging power, and Frosty's of course is a given, I think that they can actually...
Are you watching Frosties, by the way?
It's making me dizzy. I wish I could. I wish I could dance on ropes
It's so
like that.
cool though that they're practicing getting the fake sound on the descent so that the pre-aim is on the rope instead of where they're actually gonna land.
It's really cool. However, the second we start spectating, he stops doing it. Welcome to our world, eh?
Come on, Frosties, do the thing!
For now, let's see what can be done by South Built with a full buy, as you mentioned. I want to see how this kind of looks like a split to B is going to work, especially with the aggression of Jarpix. He goes instantly, and Harry, the B site. That's
Summit
that.
split on B, Kremer. Summit split on B, and I think it might be a skull. Jar already claiming a huge amount of space. This for Jar, we wanted to see the aggressive Jar, the Jet Jar. My Jar of Hearts has got one more in it now. Papachula elsewhere has taken down Chrysania. I believe Chrysania had a Bucky in hand. And, well, the Shorty Warrior of a Frosties is now just camping out up in heaven, waiting to see if anyone wants to come and say hello. Oh, the timing here.
Oh, Frosties.
At that range, I don't think that's how it works.
The sheer panic.
However, come to me, come to me, come to me. I will make you wait. I will make you wait until you come to me.
This is a firing squad as well.
Feed
Oh
me.
my god. Oh my lord. Well, that's a way to win a round, and we still haven't seen the Empress from Aziz. He doesn't need it. Moving on to the ults that start coming online for Bleed, though. Bear in mind that they are slowly getting these points up. The lockdown's ready for Lexi, so we are going to see retake utility prepped. And something to watch out for, especially on South Built, is they don't have an bit of util that beats the lockdown. They don't have the Sova who can Hunter's Fury or Shock Dart, or they don't have the KO, for instance, who can use that Resonating Grenade or the Breach. They can't beat a lockdown. They just have to avoid it. So for Bleed, this is a massive ult to have.
Oh, Frosties has already given up this angle. They feel the aggression over here on A, and they want to be the one to address it. An operator in hand is going to make things a little bit more difficult, especially with that one way. They're going to have to try and move away as soon as they can. And they will platform their way over the boxes. Can they line up a shot here? Taking out Aziz would be so big. Oh my goodness! Aziz with the walking accuracy. That's beautiful. And Lexi has to contemplate. Do I pick up this operator here? One way. Makes them a little bit more vulnerable. And the alarm bot is placed on down, but the aggression has moved elsewhere. Chrysania utilizes the upward position of the wall with greater verticality to get the jump on Papachulo. And now Jarpix. It's going to come down to them to stop the aggression through the garage, but at the moment they're still more concerned about A. They're planting down fresh stars over there. They've seen Micro, they've seen enough. They've seen enough to know that this is actually B, and so Chrysania gets ready to move. They might move ahead of this, and they're going to be able to take down Pro. Micro just keeps winning these fights. They may be the sub-Kremer, but they are hitting shots where it counts. I guess they had to, like with the lockdown.
Yeah, they don't really have time. I would have liked to see... It's very common for teams now to sit behind smokes like that. I would rather see them just spam it. Just hope for a kill. Because you're in a position where both players are sort of hugging the walls. There's a world... There isn't a certain position where you don't hit them. You're going to hit one of them. And as we're going to see a few ults come online for both Bleed and South Built, it's the knives on Yard that I want to watch out for, because we saw how effective Jar can be when he gets them available. We've seen him time and time again just gut it to the back line. In this case, Chrysania. First Love, sorry. That's the opening with that Viper Spit.
First Love playing within, an attempt to spam them out and hoping that any rogue bullet might take down that Viper. But look who might wait within. Frosties of a Judge. A very familiar sight to me. And Frosties was blinded for a little bit there by the smokes. Jarpix jump spotting over on B. They don't know just yet, but 4 people await them in garage.
This is going to be really worrisome for Jarpix. He's just got a hype he hasn't killed here. With
A best trade out for 1, maybe.
Just leaving a bit. It's going to be a 5-man commitment.
Frosties.
Oh, that's a scary gun, Harry.
This is a scary gun and a scary position. This means that Jarbix's main concern here is going to be taking out Jar on the entry. Everyone else who comes in after Jar, that's Frosty's problem. Frosty's deals with that.
That's a really well-timed nade as well. You're just buying time at this point, Harry. There's only 30 seconds left.
Down goes the lockdown. No one can really take that out. There's a nano swarm. Frosty begins to wait. They've seen Jar move on through, but they're blinded at the moment. Even while blinded, they're still able to take out one. They know they're going to be detained, so they just try and do their best. 2 players, in fact. It's an easy execution, and they know where Jarpix is. 3 players are detained. I wish I could read Kramer. That would make my job much easier. But do they know about Aziz on the other side? There's no chance. Aziz just holds down the trigger, and Bleed are forced onto the ground. That's 5 now for South Built.
It's a wonderful round there from South Built. We have a quick restart over on Bleed just to try and, I assume, fix up the lag here. And for South Built, you need to remember that there was a very heavy commitment as that round. They had the lockdown, they sent the Empress in as well. And for the Empress, I'm really impressed with is we sort of guessed, you know, how will he use this Empress? No matter where he uses it, he's going to do well, right? In this case, yeah, 3k for him. Bleeds not using their ults to counter. Frosty actually had a showstopper. He could have gunned straight down that corridor B main once he knew the attack was coming. And I'd love to see that, but he's maybe holding it from more of a kind of 1v1 utilitarian usage, while Jarpix still has the Divide available for what I assume would be the counter to Micro's Cosmic Divide once he gets his online. Unfortunately, we talk about abilities, we talk about potentials and what-ifs. The reality is, Bleed, they're down to a very poor buy, with South Built staring them down 5-1 in the lead.
This is worrying for Bleed. South Built, they good at attacking? Uh-oh. And some people would call this a defensively sided map as well, Kramer.
Yeah. Yeah, they would.
Worries intensify.
I would consider it defensively sided.
I think Bleed now, they also have to play on an eco here, unless they're going to give Lexi a hero rifle, which I think would be somewhat silly to do.
I wouldn't want to see a hero rifle. I want to see him just keep
By
that
the way,
level.
this is jinging.
This is what?
Jinging.
What?
They are
oh, so
right
he
up
is.
there.
Killing as the Rainer. Jinging. I think we need to get a cooler name than, like a cooler term than that.
Well, I'm open to suggestions. It's not like we've not got time right now.
The Jing's Jewels. We'll figure it out soon.
I'm sure in 2 minutes chat will come up with something much better.
Yeah, they're funnier than we are. In mid, we got South Built. We're going to look for a split to be once again. I mean, why change? Why change what isn't broken? In this case, Chrysania doing a bit of damage early on. They've already had to use their heals, so that's a little advantage that goes for South Built. It's all silver linings for them at this point.
Jar takes 2 body shots, though. It's going to leave him a little bit more vulnerable. Does Chrysania dare go into a spammable position again with only 17 HP? And do they want to use their wall here, considering that's a 400 credit investment?
Look how close Jarpix is right now in mid. He's been able to shift it to a really strong angle. And from the looks of it, he hasn't really been ready yet.
There hasn't been a huge amount of info gather on mid, nor will there be. Jarpix just needs to be patient here. Jar, as they move on through. Oh, that's a lovely little adjust there from Jarpix. And now Frosty's is feeling the pain. The Duelists once again coming alive everywhere they roam. First Love had a good lineup, but Aziz simply has the better weapon. And now Chrysania is all alone again, still with the same 17 HP. They do have a heal if they want to use it. 2 heals for oneself, a self-sustaining Sage.
30 seconds.
I don't know what Chrysania can do from this 17 HP. There's not much to it, is there? This is really tough for them. And I believe the term is AZ's on fire, your defense is terrified.
Oh, that was a lovely little one-tap.
That's what the Yobos say. For Aziz, 17-2 he now sits, Harry. A throne of bodies, and in this case, in this Game of Thrones, he is certainly winning.
You know what I say about the Game of Thrones, Kramer? You win or you die.
I can tell
Right
who's
now.
dying in this.
Yeah, Bleed are on the edge of exsanguination.
Hopefully this ends a
just
bit better
bleeding.
than Game of Thrones. Over in mid, Southfield, they prepare another attack. In this case, they've sort of abandoned that split to B. They seem more to favour the hit in mid and then just go to wherever their players on the wings have sort of got their opening. With both Micro outside B and with Yar getting the opening, I think that sort of describes where they're heading now, especially considering how Papaciolo's being fairly slow with his hits away.
Crasani was on a bit of a TikTok angle right there. Frosties will reveal their presence. And Jarpix, they've at least managed to take out the lurker on B. That makes Frosties a little bit more secure here. And a defensive star is laid down. For now, turtling up in mid, the lurk. I believe it's been identified here. Papachulo. Here comes the... Oh, okay. Not quite what we expected.
Party's over.
From the
Didn't have a
showstopper.
license.
Bleed. They could have Lexi exposed here. However, on two sides,
timing.
Papachulo makes their move. The distraction was good enough. And Southfield once more, they seem to be in complete control. First Love was just decimated. Frosties, what can you do for us? They're staring down those ropes. And it's Aziz on the other side of this.
Frosty
Fake drop. Oh,
caught out, Harry. Jarpix has got
all
to
that
save.
practice in the ropes and the tech pause, and for what, Kremer?
For what? At least his death looks quite stylish. Oh, for what, Harry? Jarpix alone in a 1v4.
Surely they saved this.
He's got to
150
save.
credits.
There's no other way he can go about this. Doesn't have any armor either, so even next round, regardless of the outcome here, he's going to be screwed economically. Southbuilt are looking unstoppable right now, when they're even going to hunt him here. Look at this rotation from Yar.
Jar thinks he's found him, and that's going to be a confirmation. A hint of shoulder is all it takes to seal the fate of the Cosmic Queen. Southbuilt, they are steaming ahead right here. The last hope of the Philippines in the Royal SEA Challenge refuses to bow.
A timeout called by Bleed here. I like the fact
Yeah.
they're calling for one. Just so they can take a moment to go, what on earth do we change? Because it is... The issue is, when you're losing, you can sort of identify it. In this case, it's, we're losing in mid, we're losing in B. Here's how we change it. We put, say, the Sage over on B, we rotate X player to mid, hope that works. In this case, no matter where Southbuilt go, they're just winning. Over on A, the pinch comes with the Killjoy. It means that over for Lexi, he has to turn 90 degrees per kill and somehow beats them to the reaction. Over on B, you've got Chrysania, who can't even hide behind a smoke because they get spammed down to 17 HP before they even see an opponent. Over in mid, Frosties is really struggling to kill at this point with only 2 to his name. This is categoric shutdown, Harry.
Where are we losing? Well, we're losing when they have guns.
Well, where are we winning? Says the intern at the back.
We're winning in spirit, boys and girls.
If there were a place to start for Bleed, I would say it has to be a mid. They need to stop losing mid. In this case, that way you can turn back to whether it be B main or A main and just take the fight from there. However, the one side they stack it. Look where Southport are going, Harry. Look where they're going.
I would have liked to have seen the Viper try and control mid. We've seen some great usage of Vipers on mid in multiple instances. B is currently abandoned. Should be an easy take. But how much of that is known? Actually, right now, the fake over on A, or at least the lurks over on A, dragging over some significant resources in terms of those Astra stars. And they can't hear anything about what's happening on B. This is going to be an absolutely free plant. And they finally hear it like, oh, right. And now they've got to deal with Aziz here, who's going to try and catch this rotation. They know that they lost all mid control, so this is a very likely angle for multiple members to come from. And now Papachulo has seen them. Aziz knows they can pinch it around on the other side. They're losing on every single fight that comes before them. But Jarpix puts a stop to that. Finally hits themselves a headshot. But you know, Pro, they're not going to allow their teammate to go unavenged. Can Jarpix win another one? The answer is yes. Jarpix needs to be the one who leads their team to victory. They know where Jar is now. And Jar's beginning their spam, caught while running, but running accuracy means nothing. First Love Wants to try and stop any disengagements here. They can try and stop Micro. They get them so low, Kramer, but it's simply untenable.
Another solid round from Southbill. And Harry, honestly, for Bleed, they're running out of runway. There's only so far they can go before they hit the fence at the other side. In this case, they have just 3 rounds to turn this around. If they can, sure, they're in a great position, but can they? With 3 ults available, Pro's about to get his res up as well. Aziz is currently going 19-3. My God. I can't begin to tell you how strong Aziz is playing right now. And it's not that the rest of his team is playing badly. When Aziz dies, as that last round was shown, Jar goes for hero play, gets 2 players, and continues to fight right till the end.
Are they really doubling up in Cubby?
It's brave to do this. It's so brave, Harry.
This is a gambit. It might pay off. It might not. At the moment, it's not looking like it's going to pay off. Jarpix needs a heal, but it's a little bit too late. Krasani was thinking about walling and rezzing, but now, they all die in the same place. They just keep watching it, and you keep on dying. Leader down to 2 versus 5 towards the end of their defensive half. This was supposed to be where Southbeat were weaker. Frosty's at least found some, and First Love even more. First Love has decided to take matters into their own hands, and they know exactly where this Astra's coming from. It's an easy kill from the back. First Love puts their foot down and puts 4 in the grave.
We finally see a strong round from Bleed. But that isn't from Bleed, that's from First Love, who lines up 3 kills and outmaneuvers Pro to make it 4. Really solid round on Bleed's part, but now Southbill, it's DEFCON Black, Harry.
Oh, it's not looking good. DEFCON Black, all 5 ultimates are available.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking. Why does Yar have a Spectre? I'll tell you why, Harry. Because you can run and gun with that thing, and he's planning on having a fast round with some very pointy ends.
Run and gun. And when it comes to run, I would advise Bleed on doing the same. First Love is invested in mid control, but they're not interested in mid. All they want is B, and they've used the lockdown to make sure that they will be taking it. Jarpix, they were just spamming through there with a Vandal, so the silenced weapons easily managed to catch this. Micro's going to hear the approach of multiple players, surely. And so they will attempt to meet them before they can strike. In fact, that's a lot put down here into the back. Try and reinforce this area. Micro's forced to move, but as they do, both gunfights are won by Bleed. It's about damn time they found their mojo, but could it be too little and too late? Krasani gets themselves yet another resurrection. Aziz actually just comes up right in front of First Love. Aziz could get themselves even a 6k here if they want to do so. That's the first, and that's going to be, although it doesn't come up, an ace.
Harry, what on earth was that from Aziz? He goes into his dismiss, and he unphases in front of the gob of the Viper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a jump scare, Harry. That Phantom, when the business end is pointed at you, and Aziz is on the pointy end, there's nothing you can do. A wonderful round from Southbill. More importantly from Aziz, he goes 25-4. Harry, what is this?
Of over 6 right now, Kremer. Over 6. Jarpix has a sheriff. But at this point, Southbill seem unstoppable. Will Jarpix walk the wall? They might see themselves a rifle here. Oh, so much is dropped. So the second it drops down, so Jar will drop Jarpix. That's a lot. That's a lot of Jar sounds. Oh, wait. Could you wait in ropes here with the judge? Krasania. Ooh. So close is Jar. Dare you rise up? The Dark Knight rises and the Dark Knight falls.
He's for a moment, right?
Showstopper. It's Micro.
Isn't being rest today.
Good start. Frosty's been a little bit frisky. That's 3 now. That grenade means that everyone else has to keep on moving. Oh my god! Frosties can get 6! But they're going to be denied it. Pro wins the final battle, but in a 1 versus 2, it's not looking ideal. Think about the number of rifles. Oh, First Love is seen. First Love's identified. Down goes for lockdown. And First Love here, they're kind of nervous about trying to stop this plant. It does actually go on through, and that gives over another ult point to Pro, who wants to move in onto their next resurrection. Damn, Frosties finds a little bit of mojo.
It feels like it's too little too late, though. At 9-3, scoreline, dare I say it, slightly cursed. But while it is slightly cursed, South Built, as we mentioned earlier, they favour the defence. It's not that South Built had a good attack. It's Aziz had a good attack, and now they're in the best position they could possibly hope for, with Aziz looking unstoppable. Harry,
Will Aziz's rampage continue? Can any member of Bleed pick up the gauntlet? Find out on the next half of a Royal SEA Challenge.
with Harry aggression. It's this pistol round as well as South Built make it convincing. That's the game. In this case, yeah, actually going with the Ghost rather than the Sheriff, which we usually see bought by the duelists in this case. In mid though, yeah, call to action.
Jar manages to avoid getting concussed here. They've been spotted by one, but they're simply overwhelmed. Pro from the top, trying to leverage this high ground, is going to be laid low, but from the back, through the ropes, the flank is good, and Bleed have ran out of friends. Only Frosties remains, and they don't really have access to a better gun right here. They might try to roll on back and grab a Ghost, but they're going to be noisy in doing so. And who waits? But as it. Wallbang headshot. Yes, stay out.
As they back off, Frosties. He's just got to get the hell out of there. Going to with 40 HP. He actually has more than the Rainer. But against Micro healthy as anything, fit as a fiddle, and he'll be within auditory distance of this assault to be.
How many stars does Micro have? I think... Oh, they've still got 2 unplaced and 1 that's currently placed up in heaven. That's plenty of utility to try and facilitate a retake, and that's why I believe they're hovering around in mid right now, just covering their more vulnerable Rainer. Frosties is going to clear all these angles, knowing that one shot might be all it takes to end this round and to continue the dominance of South Built. As for time that goes red, down goes the plant, and Frosties here. They have a lot on their plate.
Now, some aggression from Frosties. He's got to try and take a fight with one of these members, but Micro... Look at this read from Micro.
They seem to have some good ideas where they may be. There's the Nova Pulse. That's one! Oh, Frosties can't adjust onto a second. It was so clean onto Aziz. But Micro just had so much health to play with, and in the end, didn't even need it. They read it well. The Nova Pulse was good, and the player that got subbed in for the final map with so much on their shoulders has shown up.
Another great performance now from South Built. 10-3 they sit atop a throne of spectres as Bleeds, the spike plant means there's a chance for them to mimic this investment. They're going to do just that. They're going to hope that their investment is actually going to catch off guard South Built here. And there's a chance it does, but bear in mind, they do this without head armor. They can be exploited very easily by the Spectre and it's a big gamble they're running here.
Full armor could make all the difference, Kremer. And Jar looking to make sure that that's the case with their jump spots here on A. I believe that Pro has already lost maybe a wall segment or 2 up here in mid. So they might call for some assistance, and that's why Aziz is making their way downtown. A split, though, is going to be meeting Jar at the top of ropes here. They will wait. They're trying to set up a one-way, but Chrysania, some lovely little rope play, takes down Jar. Now we've got to deal. That's some blocking happening right there, Kremer. The blocking is awkward. And Lexi, while their teammates try and take control of Heaven, they're going to move through screens instead and may be able to get the jump onto someone. A vulnerable Pro is easy to take on down, and Aziz is so low here. A single bullet could do it. But if they can get the drop onto Lexi, they can have themselves a Devour. They can find themselves some energy to move on. And again, it's Aziz and Micro who are left alive at the end. Aziz moves on forward. They're caught in the slow orb for now. Won't be noticed at the moment. They know exactly where Lexi is, it would appear. But here comes the flank as well from First Love. As Iz moves on in, they instantly mown on down. First Love's got a timing in to try and take out Micro. And it was a dirty buy, Crema. But it's happened. Question is, where are these economies going to be laid now?
The best way to respond to a Force area is with a Force. So I want to see South Built bring out the Sheriffs, bring out Spectres of their own, and try and beat Bleed, despite the fact that Bleed have to drop down to a few Phantoms, so their money's going to be relatively low. South Built going for the Eco. I mean, there's thought behind it. Sure, you have the rounds to play with. You can lose an extra one. It's okay if it means that your next buy is strong, but I would want to see them try and keep up the pressure.
Pressure must be maintained, or this roast ain't going to cook well. South Built. Oh, that's a beautiful start, Aziz. With a headshot on the Sheriff. Can you get anything more? Yes, you can. Aziz is going absolutely mad. That's going to be 3 right there. Your guns mean nothing to me, and they mean nothing to Jar.
Firepower, it just isn't a thing in this case, because Aziz nothing can outgun him. He ruins his opponents. He tears through the lot of them. And just like that, it is going to be an incredible performance from Aziz. 29-8 he currently sits, despite having died a fair few times without a kill. It doesn't matter. It looks as if he's been dominant since the start. If I told you he'd quietened down up till now, Harry, you wouldn't believe me. That's how good he's looking. And for Micro, this peak on B long may risk losing a man advantage, but in the same breath, it may risk gaining one.
And now with that toxic.
Oh!
What was that? Micro, calm down, you dirty boy. You're going to detention. You're going to jail. Jarpix walks this. Jarpix walks this. They're trying to test Micro. Stop trying to test Micro. Krasania eventually gets it done, but not without some significant trauma gained. The Vandal has been noted, but you know that Jar's going to guard that. At range with a Spectre, Aziz you ain't. Krasania is at least going to get a moment of reprieve with that Cloud Burst to get the Vandal. And frankly, get the hell out.
Frosties.
Bro, he could be exposed. Frosties. Oh, they weren't able to hit the flick. And elsewhere, Aziz has managed to find Krasania. It's not looking good for Bleed.
Oh, Harry. 12-4. Considering how close this series has been, it's heartbreaking to see Bleed get messed around in our final map of the series. South Built, this has been an absolute schooling on Split. A incredible round, an incredible game, incredible series from them. For Bleed, this final buy, their last hurrah, their chance to try and at least take a few rounds off South Built and maybe make him sweat a bit.
All right, Frost needs to come back ASAP. Second chances, they're all expended now, Kramer. This is the last one for Bleed. If they don't win this round, they're out of a tournament. Out comes the showstopper. Jar needs to be eliminated, but Frosty's, they fall at the hands of Pro. Can they end it with a Sage Ace? No, they can't, but they can end it nonetheless. A reverse sweep within a best of 3. Bleed have fallen, and South Built, the pride of the Philippines, brings it home.
Your Filipino pride are going to be taking that first finalist spots. They're going to be playing against the winner of Boom versus Paper Rex, a clash of titans. What will start as a primordial ooze of greatness, soon to build to a crescendo of skill and talent. It's going to be a game you do not want to miss. However, we're going to go to a brief break. When we return, we're going to do an interview with South Built. We're hoping to get, I believe we can get Aziz. We'll try and get Yara as well, and we will have Black and Blue, the analyst, I believe, for South Built as well. So we'll be able to bring your players, we'll be able to go over that in just a moment as well. Give us just a couple of minutes to set it all up. We'll be back soon.
your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
ourselves in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Let them keep coming back, 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 like of things we know. We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should say goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery.
Welcome to a post-match interview with our victors, Southbuilt Esports, who just toppled Bleed 2-1, reverse sweeping them and taking their place rightfully in the grand finals of the Royal SEA Challenge. Guys, how do you feel about that victory?
I'm gonna let these guys answer. How you guys feeling?
So good. Yeah, we're happy. We're happy that we won that match out of reverse sweep. Yeah.
At any point in the series, were you guys sort of scared that you were going to lose this? Like, did that ever kind of occur in your minds?
No.
No, fair enough.
Sorry, sorry.
Obviously, previous to this, you guys did really well in a local Filipino invitational, I believe, like the Miniski Invitational, I want to say. You guys didn't drop a single map. Do you think that you're better in bracket play than you are in group play?
Well, I think, I don't know, cause I'm not really sure.
If I may
Like,
answer
we're just-
it, I do think so. From what I see, like from my perspective, I do kind of see like the boys lock in more, and even in their comms and how they talk, there's more urgency in how they play and how they communicate, and you can tell there's a different fire in their voice when they're playing in these kind of bracket elimination matches as compared to a group stage. And part of it, I guess, was maybe some fatigue because this is like our fourth tournament in a month for the group stage. Fourth, almost fifth, maybe in like 5-6 weeks. So there's a lot going on, but otherwise, yeah, these boys, they lock in when playoffs comes. SBE playoffs is different.
On that note as well, I mean, you went into playoffs with the absolute last seed in your group, having only just scraped through in 4th place. Did that sort of weigh on your minds? Did that sort of tilt you at all? Or are you able to go into playoffs as a completely different team, sort of with a clear mind? And how do you clear your minds before games?
Was Nico.
No, you guys get answered. How do you guys clear your minds? How do you guys prepare after after going 4th seed and doing this?
We talked about our mistakes before. That we're not gonna do that again. Like then, and
Mhm.
we need some communications in our team because we lack communications that time. That's why.
That's
I've got a
And we just
question
have fun.
specifically for Micro. So actually, Micro, you answer that first, and then I'll ask you
Yeah.
about other things.
about what?
Micro.
Hello, sorry.
Micro.
About
do you wanna
the
answer
question
that?
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think for me, we just played we just reset ourselves, and we just played our game, like our strats before, like that. We just I think we just do it again like that, and it works.
Evidently, it seems to work.
Yeah.
But Micro, specifically for you, you were brought in for the final map in the best of 3 after having been out for 2, I believe. What was the pressure like on you to perform and to integrate into the comm structure for that final map? And how do you think that you kind of impacted the team dynamic when you came in after 2 maps?
Well, I think cause like I'm only playing for like 3 maps, so um when I know that I'm gonna play this map, like even if the third map or the last map, I just set myself like I just need to be ready whenever when I'm going to play like that.
And a kind of question in general is, do you think that 6-man rosters are sort of the future for SEA Valorant? Or do you think that you guys are very unique in doing this? That goes to any of you.
I don't know.
Uh,
Or Nika.
Nico.
okay, I guess I'll do it. Well, to be honest, when I came into the team, these guys were already doing it. But I fully encouraged it more after only seeing like really quick glimpses of it, I was like, I think this is the way, because really at the end of the day, you can put people where you think they should be, but if they're not comfortable there, then they don't want to be there. So that's why Pro, who is our IGL for every map, it's not normal to rotate the IGL out, but we take him out of the game when it comes to Breeze because he just isn't comfortable there. So we play a player like Flippy, and to have that 6-man roster, do I think it's the future? No, I think it should be the way right now, how you guys should be playing the game.
Fighting talk.
From the looks of it, you guys, Jar and Micro, you guys are in the same room right now. I assume that all of the players currently are in boot camp, or do you guys have a team house?
Bootcamp team house.
Yeah, bootcamp.
How long have
And
you been at
Black
boot
and
camp?
Blue, but you separate from the looks of it?
Everybody has their own homes. I go to the boot camp when there's like big tournaments if I'm not too busy during the daytime. But otherwise, if it's something like this, I mean, I was there for like the qualifiers, for I think one day of the qualifiers and during other tournaments, but just haven't been able to go over today. But when I can, I do go over.
So, how long have you been at this boot camp for?
What? Sorry.
How long have you been at the boot camp for?
Like
4 months. I think.
4 to 5
There's
months.
Papi Chulo, by the way, in the background with a black shirt
Yeah.
behind Ja,
Alright.
standing up.
You can't hide from us forever, Papachulo. We're coming for you. You're going to get interviewed.
You'll
I
have
know
to
you
say.
can hear me.
I'm
There he
doing it
is.
to him as well.
The man, the myth, the legend, Papi Chulo.
Yeah.
So, final question. Aziz, he played out of his mind on splits. When you guys when you see him doing so well, do you sort of ditch a few strategies, just allow him to go do his own thing, or do you have to sort of reel him back and kind of keep him disciplined while he's going off and just killing everyone?
Well, I think we just let him do what he wants. Like since he's on a like
Momentum.
he's so playing good that map.
Yeah.
Like we just
I
support
think-
him.
Yeah, it's a big, I guess, telltale sign. You can see in our composition we run double duelist for a good reason. Because we really want to be able to enable our insane players to do insane stuff. And sometimes it's Joss, sometimes it's Aziz, but at the end of the day, it's enabling the whole team to do what they can do the best. And when Aziz is on his Reyna, that's when he can be the best on split.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for this little interview. Hopefully we'll see you again after the finals. We're going to have to see how well you do. On that note, actually, quick last question. Who's winning, Paper X or Boom?
Oof. You got
I don't know. Like for me, I
You
want
don't
to
know. Let's see.
go against Paper X.
Paper X.
Yeah.
I'm quite used to putting predictions out there.
Yeah.
And being the interviewer, and so I honestly I can't deny that Paper X are doing really good, and they always have been. So, I mean, they were one of the forefront winners to win C challengers, and so for this one too, I think they're the forefront to get to the grand finals as well.
Okay. Thank you guys very, very much for this little interview. Yeah, best of luck in your grand finals. Hopefully we'll be able to see more reviews. Do you have any kind of final words to your kind of fans and to anyone watching?
To our fans, thank you for supporting. Just keep supporting Southbuilt Esports. Fighting. And shout out to my wife. I love you so much. We're having a baby. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Not
Congratulations.
just
Thank
for
you.
GF buff, for wife buff.
That's
Yeah.
next level buff right there.
That's incredibly powerful. We'll let you return to your wife, and we'll let all of you watch our next semi-finals together if you so desire. For everyone else, it's going to be a wonderful show. We'll be right back after this break for Boom Esports versus Paper X.
Fill me out with with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
lose ourselves in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Let me keep coming back, 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 keep coming back. Of things we know.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are.
Oh, Harry, it's our final game of today, and I couldn't be more excited. Boom, taking on Paper Rex. Boom, the last bastion of hope for Group A. They were able to topple the behemoths of Bren Esports in what was one of the most dominant fashions we've seen all tournaments. They now move to face on Paper Rex, who played earlier today and actually had a map stripped off them from Sharper. Paper Rex themselves said that this was a choke and they shouldn't have lost a sense. Now he moves to Icebox, one of Paper Rex's home grounds, one of their proving grounds, and with Jing on that Rainer, Harry, I can't help but think just that bit of giddiness that you get like a child on Christmas.
You might say that this is Paper X's home grounds, and statistically I'm inclined to agree, but this was also the only map that they dropped in our group stage, and they dropped it to Southbuilt Esports. And now, while Southbuilt Esports are on my tongue, they're a little bit of a playoffs team, Kremer. And I'm inclined to say that Boom is as well, because, like you said, the most dominant performance we've seen in this tournament so far was Boom going up against a Bren who was very, very scary.
That they were. Now, looking at the composition, we see that they're drifting away from the Rainer and instead picking up that extra Sentinel. Having the Killjoy alongside the Viper is going to be so damn effective for your defense. I don't know how the Killjoy is going to fare on attack. Bear in mind that that lockdown can be beat by Devise Hunter's Fury. We saw a problem over on our previous series where I believe it was not Sharper, Bleed, who didn't have anything to beat a lockdown. The only way to destroy it was to just rush it and hope you can shoot it in time. Kind of bold way to play, and in this case, now they have that sort of counter utility. This is going to be a very, very interesting, more importantly, a very tactical map between these two teams. But tactics can go out the window. No strategy survives first contact with the enemy. And I tell you what, Jin, he is looking to bring this contact.
Jing and Forsaken, always a hype duo to see, and it feels like Double Duelist really has a home over here on Icebox, but Boom aren't willing to give any of their living space away. Berserks one of the newer boys. I believe they're currently the top ACS on their team and one of our top 5 in the tournament. They've been performing incredibly well. Jing, going out on an early scout, is going to be touched by Timmy. And Forsaken's going to be pinged here as well. Blaze might send in some additional damage.
Bit of aggression in mid there, but Berserks, that's first blood, Harry. Now, Paper Rex, their hands are forced. They have to try and push this site.
All right, Jing. They're going to be the main battering ram, the main bruiser if they can find someone to take on out. It would be critical. You'd be able to get that 50 extra HP off the back of a Devour, but Divine Mind Freak have already taken matters into their own hands. We don't need you, Jing. You're a little bit late, son. Flipsider on the other side of this wall, waiting for it to drop on down when the Viper runs out of fuel. They managed to do it outside of Jing's zone of influence. Devotal is seen, and Jing, they're feeling frisky, moving on in for even more. They find themselves a Frost Mind and deliver the execution.
This round goes in favor of Paper Rex on their attacking side. Remember, Icebox ever so slightly defenders sided, but in recent months, we've seen it turn into one of the most equal maps in the pool. Something that is going to be so important is the Sage. With their walls on B, they make a plant there possible. If you lose your Sage, you're forced to go to A. You physically can't plant on B unless you have complete control, not just of your, what would be your retake positions, but of backside. You need that full upper area as well to prevent yourself from being shot through that wall. That's how pivotal Sages are here. And, well, with Tabotal, he's going to be the lone man to stop that aforementioned B hit.
Forsaken, going high, hoping to lay the enemy low. Behind this box, Tabotal has plenty of space to try and find themselves a nasty little surprise onto any unsuspecting enemies. It feels like there might be bypassed here. There's a tap. And plenty of taps are going to be given, but most of them are going to be from Paper Rex. Forsaken's not entirely sure where they're getting shot from, but Flipsider is discovered on the flip side themselves. Forsaken, with 28 HP, is the tip of a spear, but the spear is pointing in the wrong direction right now, because Blaze is coming in from the back. They're on B long, and they're likely going to take first contact here with Benkai and the Bulldog. This is not a great engagement range for the Classic.
Aggression comes from Blaze, hoping to catch them out.
Might be easier to look for exits here. That might be what Blaze wants to do. It's unlikely they'll use their drone, since that's quite expensive to use in a 1 versus 4. Oh, that is, that's sad. And I believe Forsaken's going to likely find them pretty quickly. Oh, Blaze was mere seconds away from claiming Forsaken's life. A right click would have done it with that 28 HP, but Device got the save.
Harry, Paper Rex, this is the dominant way they want to start. They end up with having only sustained 3 casualties in 2 rounds. It really means their economy gets a bit of a bolsterment, and because they went fairly heavy of an investment into that last round, they go into what would be their bonus with almost an equal buy to that of Boom's. Because of that, Boom now are going to find a very, very hard time to try and win what should be their rounds to take.
Berserks, they're waiting for Forsaken. They've been pinged right here. However, they refuse to give up this upper area for the moment. Once they've been reinforced by Tabotal, they feel a little bit more secure in moving elsewhere. Elsewise, Mind Freak and Jing have set up themselves up a crossfire with these Spectres on A, but I don't think Boom are feeling awfully good about foraying outwards.
And then look at Benkai here. Danger being called out. It's just able to get around the corner in time, but that drop of smoke may alert the entirety of Boom that the hit's coming to aid.
Oh, Predator. Predator they are. Blaze only needs 1 shot. Jing now moving on forward, trying to claim all of this space. Play on the ropes is going to mean that things are a little bit dangerous up high. Flipside has already got themselves 2, and this is the advantage that Boom wanted. Flipsider on the 3rd. Flipsider, they have torn through Paper Rex, but Frostmine gets the final frag.
No matter how bold your investment is, unfortunately, it's not enough to beat that flip side. A great opening, and considering it's a Sage that's doing the majority of your killing, it means that we're going to see a very early res get achieved if they can mimic that success. For Paper Rex, they now move to their full investment. Sure, the rifles last round definitely made it harder for Boom, but they seem to shrug it off like it was nothing. Now it's rifles around the board are matched by, rather than mimicked by. And for Paper Rex, let's see what can be done.
Device somehow is on a lesser buy right here, maybe reinvesting into that previous round. It's going to leave him with only a Sheriff. Got a spike in hand as well. They're not going to be the one who's taking the first contact. They'll hand that over to Mind Freak, hoping to eventually be able to grab themselves a resurrection.
It's a really passive hold on A, actually, from the entirety of Boom. They're sort of baiting out utility and just backing off, and it looks like they're looking to play retake here.
All right, the wall goes down. Banana Swarms come on out. That's going to stop any plants right here. Forsaken, they don't have themselves an updraft to try and get up onto that high ground, so instead they have to just nestle themselves down on the low. They'll avoid decay by not having LOS. And now, Forsaken waits to see if anyone's going to move on through. That's 2 in almost one shot. Forsaken, they break Boom over their knee. And Divide, they can find somewhere to loot a rifle right now, while everyone else worries about Tay-Birdle. As this drops on down, it should be a triple peak, but only one is needed.
Wonderful round from Paper Rex there, and as they now sit at 3-1, the skill line, that was the recovery they now needed. They shut down Boom, making sure they don't string together some rounds. They stay in the driver's seats, and with Mind Freak being able to get that res out, there's 1 away from the knives on Forsaken, 2 away from the Hunter's Fury. These ults are starting to light up. Frostmind, though, that lockdown in the horizon is the one you need to watch out for. With Divide not quite able to bring out the Hunter's Fury, an early lockdown from Frostmind could mean that it's unkillable for Paper Rex, and you just end up zoning them with it.
Berserk's moving forward here. May avoid getting spotted out. Oh, that distraction here from the Vandal. Tay-Birdle's fallen on down, but does this leave Berserks in an unchecked position? They might get pinged here. No, they won't. They don't get pinged, and that means they can drop the hammer. The surprise wasn't good enough to get more than one, though, when instantly Jing is forgiven for all of their sins. And now Blaze, they're going to look to try and meet this. Down goes the wall already before this can be planted. And so flip side, it finds himself an easy cancel on the spike plant. Forsaken and Jin, the 2 duelists move on forward. They want to claim this space. There is a well-placed Hunter's Fury. Blaze falls to their counterpart. Frostmind at range is actually... there's a little bit of peel going on from Hunter's Fury. They couldn't see Jing through the tendrils of energy. And so that's an easy pickup of the round there for Paper Rex.
That stopping power from the Hunter's Fury used spontaneously is so effective. My worry, though, for Paper Rex now is they have no solution to the lockdown on Frostmind, which means when they go into an afterplant, they need to get that spike down, get off the site, and line up their afterplant utility as quick as humanly possible. With both the Sova and the Viper, they sure as hell have a lot of utility to throw, but they can't be anywhere near the site so long as that lockdown is available. Oh my god!
Turn away. Look away. Oh my goodness. Look at Forsaken's tech here when it comes to the movement. They've left Berserk's low, and Jing finds himself some easy frags off the back of that. Forsaken's going up high. Oh my goodness. The sprint here. The sprint for the hunt. They want to get rid of Tay-Birdle's rifle. And they're going to find him. That's nothing. Nothing gained for Tay-Birdle. Forsaken.
I love that.
It's that. I can't believe the speed and ferocity.
What's really strong with Forsaken there is getting the opening was just stellar. I don't know how on earth he did that, but the follow-up is really strong. It's the way he ends up forcing the stage to back to the left side of that site, meaning when Jing swings, they're already lined up for him. It's just a massive bit of teamwork where Forsaken, he just sets Jing up for 2 easy kills, gives them a 5-1 lead in a very fast fashion, and it leaves Boom now facing a full investment, sure, but with this ARP on Berserk, it becomes something that has to work rather than something that is a bit cool to throw out.
Bladestorm was going on a solo outing over to B. It's the operator on A that holds my concern. Berserks right now looking to reign over this area. They heard a drop down from the Sova. And they are punished for drone. Oh, that's perfect. A bad miss. That's a bad miss, Kremer.
Forsaken, he sort of revealed himself over in mid, so the rotations, they can't come as quickly. Tabotal, hoping for timing.
Tabotal took a long time to do that. But you know what? Sometimes art takes time, and right now, Tay-Birdle's painting a tapestry with blood. They've already got 2. Can they make it into 3? Devise for next on their checklist, and they'll be able to surely deliver that. Could it be a 4th from Tay-Birdle? It's a little bit too much to ask, and Benkai ends up in a 1 versus 2, but they have the spike, so they can just go on a jog.
They've got the pit as well if they really want to give themselves that extra oomph going into this, but they'd be brave to do so.
The 1 versus 3 pit, do you believe, Kramer?
I actually do. I think for Paper Rex, you might as well go for the confidence plays. You're 5-1 up in a very fast fashion.
I wouldn't use it simply because they have a lockdown, and they'd be able to force
They
out
do.
the pit.
They do. That's a fair point. However, you have planted in a very unorthodox position here, and you actually just avoid all of that.
Alright, so now they're going to be able to force out 2 ultimates on... What? Flipside just threw their gun at Benkai!
Oh, Harry.
Oh, what is happening? But now they can post plant from over here. Oh, Benkai's got a giga brain. Their brain is simply too large. They can post plant from through the scaffolding. I've never seen this in a pro game. Will they have any idea? Will they have any clue? The smoke drops. Benkai's ready. Oh, Blaze knows. Blaze has seen this in scrims before. It was still a cool idea, but hey, you just forced out 2 ultimates already.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1. Really, I love the reaction from.
Flip side.
I think he just panics. Like, he knows he's dead regardless. He's in midair. He can't shoot him. I like how Benkai, their reaction to seeing the Hunter 3 was, okay, now I can drop. Now I can drop the pits. Does so, drains that extra bit of util from Boom. Bear in mind that for Paper Rex, they used that Hunter 3 on Divide very early on, so that cycle of ults is actually still in favor of Boom. However, that Empress on Jing, you can't underestimate it. Every time we see him use it, kills just happen to flow. Blood happens to spill. And in this case, there's a very lone sage on B.
Oh, the lone sage is now a lone corpse. The Blade Storm here from Berserks. That might be one of the best chances the Boom have to try and take a ranged duel with an operator. Look at Berserks, how high they could be able to go here. They've already set themselves up on an elevated plane. And with a double updraft, they could be well in place.
Oh!
Try and take down Forsaken, but it doesn't matter because Blaze has already done plenty, and now Berserk's up high can just be the second phase of this attack. At range, Benkai catches knife after knife. His body shots all the way, but it's all the same to the Grim Reaper. Still no plant given over, but the spike is in hand. In a 2 versus 4, this would require a monumental effort from Paper Rex to actually claim this round.
This next kill is so important, and for Free, that's a start. The Vi, though, low HP.
And Berserks finds themselves 3 with the knives. Good value right there, and an upgrade maybe? Can they find the up? Can they find the up? They can. That's beautiful for Berserks.
What started as a very dominant start for Paper Rex made me internally wonder, we could see something bad happen to Boom here, similar to what they did to Bren. But no, they've found a way to sort of stop this. They've kind of slammed their foot onto the brakes, come to a screeching halt of Paper Rex. And now with their investment, sure, they can buy, but Harry, they're playing down to 0.
Yeah, it isn't a reinforcingly weighty play here. Look at where Berserks is going to play this from. No one's going to be on A, thankfully, for Paper Rex supporters. But Berserks, they could drop down here, play around the attacker spawn. Devi's currently the one holding it, but at this range, like, you take the op most of the time, right? Oh, the timing is just about good enough. And now Frostmind is going to have so many guests up here. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 3 for Frostmind, and that's more than good enough, mate. Paper Rex. Now we've got to contemplate saving. Only 1 remains. Oh, and Forsaken. Surely they know where this guy is.
I feel like the contemplation may be quickly halted as Blaze now looks to take the 1v1. Oh, Harry. That corridor.
I can't believe Frostmind got 3 in a row.
Littered with bodies. And for Frostmind, that's the confidence
Welcome
builder.
to the corpse tube.
Yeah, that is a corpse tube. Don't watch where you step, because you still end up in the chest cavity of one of Paper Rex, because they don't have money. For Jing, sure, he has that hero vandal. I suppose he'll pop the Empress alongside this to try and go for a one-man army-esque play. But at the same time, with Sheriff's backing it up, Jing, the second he dies, because he has to risk peeking into an op, in itself is lethal. This is going to be so important. This Vandal has got so much mileage, Harry. And look at them, they're upping the tempo. They're going for a faster play here, which I do like.
Alright, Jing with the Vandal, with the Empress as well. I wouldn't mind seeing them pop it right here. They've actually missed their jump, so they're lacking a little bit of timing here as they try and catch up with the rest of their team. The knife is out to give them the better maneuverability, and now they're up on this high ground. Can they leverage this into something? Jing, look at this. They've set up the kills from high ground. They need to avoid the incoming operator bullets, but the first one from Berserk's going to be a miss. Now up against Frostmind. The Vulnerable makes them an easy kill, and Frostmind barely even contemplated Divide was there before the kill comes on through. Blaze got one with the shock dart. And so the round will slow to a crawl here as Mindfreak can contemplate. Can I use my resurrection? Is there anyone in a safe enough space that they won't be instantly broken down? Instead, they take the dropped rifle. They're actually going to bring back Divide. Remember, there's no rifle for them right now. And Mindfreak's location is going to be noted up top. The operator here. Berserk's a fair ping. This could be everything. Oh my goodness. Frostmind picks up 4. The operator was always surplus to requirements.
I quite like the idea to res Blaze there instead of... Oh, to res Divide, sorry, instead of Jing, because Divide has that Hunter's Fury, so you can play for it after plants. That's the thought process of it. Unfortunately for Boom, in this case, they just take a fight, they end up getting caught out. The choice to rotate to Heaven is very effective and it works for them. Now with a full bar on either side, we still don't have that off of Forsaken. They're struggling financially. For Paper Rex, this is actually looking quite dire for them because Boom, they seem to have got them unlocked. They seem to have them understood.
This is supposed to be Paper Rex's big boy map as well. A little bit worrying, perhaps, as all of the poisons are raised on A to try and distract anyone who might be moving on in. Look at up high here. Forsaken's forced to run away. Will anyone be running away into the zone of Hunter's Fury? Doesn't seem that that's going to be the case. Frostmind has to make a decision. Is it ult time? Would appear that it is. This can easily be broken down, remember, by the counter Hunter's Fury. And so that's going to be well placed. We're going to try and actually kill him during the Hunter's Fury. Look at Taybodal here. They've got the angle. It's watched by Forsaken. The wall goes up. Forsaken sees it coming. And they're going to be able to win that one out easily. Flipsider knows exactly where Benkai is, but the damage has already been done. An attempt right here to try and get the defuse potentially from Frostmind, but as they tap this, they will be exposed from so many different angles. Forsaken moves up top. They're going to catch a headshot, but the timing isn't there for Boom.
It's level paying right now, and you need to remember, Harry, Icebox was picked by Paper Rex. This was their map to play on. Ascent is our second map of the series. You need to remember, when Paper Rex played Ascent, they lost to Sharper earlier today. When Boom played Ascent, they beat Ren 16 or 13-5. They look so damn strong. And for Boom, even making this map close is going to be worrisome for Paper Rex, because this was their chance, this was their map to make it as one-sided as possible, build their confidence, and show Boom that even on Ascent, they don't have a chance.
Berserks trying to catch Forsaken right here, and they'll do exactly that. Jet versus Jet. And the Indonesian team comes out on top, and this emboldens Predator. Blaze themselves to move on forward. They see exactly where Benkai is, are unable to connect the headshot, and so out goes for Drone instead. They see 2, and they know that Divide is likely to try and take this peek right here inside the tube. They're not going to have any cover. That's all penetrable. And so they go out to take the gunfight, and they'll die themselves. Flipsider hiding in a cubby on B. They hear the jump spots. On both sides, information is going to be at a premium.
Mindfreak has to be so careful here. He knows that some aggression is likely. He doesn't know how close Flipsider is, though.
Oh, Berserks. That's a temptation. You see them leave, but you don't...
Oh, that reaction!
God. Flipsider!
Oh, my
It's
God.
absolutely demolished by Mindfreak. And then once again, it's down to Berserks. And Mindfreak, they've woken up in this. And a bit of a slow start to the day, admittedly. And as this wall comes up here on B, this is a concerted fake that they're going to try and reinforce with their 21 HP Sage. They just send out a slow orb to keep the concern there. But guess what? The play's happening on A, boys. And the turret right now, it's disconnected, it's deactivated. The Viper's Pit is brought on up. And Mindfreak is caught even more. What is this? Mindfreak's having a party of a game.
Oh, Harry. Mindfreak, he has just destroyed that defense on B. A really nice read as to where these players are going to be as well. Frostmind in a 1v3, I mean, sure, there's hope, but ain't much of it.
As soon as they move into Jing, oh my god, Frostmind, that's a great start. They enter the pit. They look for Benkai. Devai. Oh, the adjustment's just a touch too late. And with the additional decay given over by the pits, they are taken down. And Paper Rex, they are going to get 7-5, but it's not the dominance we want to see from a Paper Rex map pick on what I called before their big boy map.
Yeah, it is their big boy map, and in this case, they need to try and make it as one-sided as possible. Being able to take the pistol round certainly is a step in the right direction. However, for Boom, bear in mind, they take this, it's just going to be straight to the equalizer of 7-7, and we go from there. We said earlier, Harry, we did a prediction with the Victors South build, our first finalists, and they said that they fully expect Paper Rex to win this. Are you of mind? Do you agree?
I think on paper it's hard to really argue against Paper Rex. But they were worryingly vulnerable against Sharp earlier today. Sometimes you just find that teams don't have great days. At the moment, they are in the lead, though. So I still think that they definitely have their favoritism. Flipsider, going to put up the wall. This is going to allow for a safe plant, but still all 5 members of Paper X are going to be alive for a retake. The setup here on the post plant is going to be pretty strong because already a couple nano swarms have been set up. And now Forsaken with the Sheriff. What can they achieve right here? Looking for some pixel gaps. Frostmine, they are on their aim today. Falling to 45. They back off now just so they can remotely detonate that nano swarm. Staying alive is more important than winning duels. And look at the Zerks. They can just wrap around behind here, get everything they want. Oh, Benkai knew. Benkai had a good idea. Mind Freak randomly drops to a blind shot from Frostmine. What excellent crosshair placement. Boom have found themselves a pistol.
That they have, Harry, and now they've had that pistol. This is where they set up for the equalizer. This is going to turn out to be such a close map, and I love it. For Paper Rex, they have to try and figure out how they can beat this assault of Boom. For me, the way that Paper Rex is going to be able to get a feeler for how effective their defense against Boom is when they have that op out of Forsaken. That is going to be their true tester as to how good their defense truly is.
That is going to be where the buck stops, Tremor. These duelists up high and down low. Can they move as a unit? Forsaken's ahead of the curve. They've got themselves a nice little right click that leaves Flipsider low. But now the next person you have to worry about is Jing. And worried about they are. And thus the paranoia breeds brutality. Devai with a Sheriff up top, undiscovered for the moment. And now the smoke will drop, so too will Devai. They've been seen by Berserks, and the Bulldog tears bloody gobbets out of their living flesh. Frostmind on the rear guard knows that this wall is coming up for a reason. They'll give him a little bit of cover, a little bit of help from Tayburdle to make sure that Benkai won't be able to get an advantageous duel onto them, and still Tayburdle's going to take it themselves with the Spectre.
That's the equalizer, only taking 1 casualty against the anti-eco of Paper X is exactly where you want to be. Unfortunately, the economy that you're able to flex onto Paper X means that they can't bring out the op. You're in a strong position now as you go into this bonus round, per se. With 3 Spectres, you certainly don't have the firepower advantage to the extent where if you win this, you are going to shake Paper X significantly. For now, you have Benkai, Jing, the 2 defenders of this A site. You have the rotation available for Devai. Will it be enough to stop the assault? We'll have to see very shortly.
Wakey, wakey, Jin. It's not been an easy round for you thus far, but that's a great start for yourself. Valir will cover their disengage as they try to find themselves a new sentry post from which to operate. They want to check mid and move up to heaven, of course. Up on this catwalk, they can try and leverage some high ground to get the element of surprise as multiple members of Boom will find themselves on this site. Jing waits for any pings that might give them an idea of where they can take their advantageous duels. The Devi's already found one. Falling from all sides right now are Berserks. It's going to be far from flawless, though, as Tayburdle already picks up one. Blaze, can they get anything off of Jing here? No, they can't. 1 bullet's all that's needed. Straight to the dome. And as was scripted, Paper X will win their rifle buy.
You said that it was all but flawless. In this case, only losing 1 player actually is really good for Paper X. That keeps 4 players' economy thriving. And for Devai, sure, he has to reinvest, but he can afford to do so. What matters now is whose ults come up first. With, I think, the next one on the horizon being Berserk's Knives. those are probably going to be pulled out spontaneously, especially if Boom end up falling in this round and end up going 9-7 down facing an eco.
Jing tries to go. I think we've outpaced the drone here. They could get the drop on Berserks, but Berserks knows your tricks. I've seen this too many times before on ladder, mate. You're getting away with that for me. Benkai avoids getting hit by the shock dart. Still at full health now, but it's going to be slowed potentially. Have a snake bite to play with. And so they go up high instead, seeing if they can maybe outplace Flipside. They've been seen, and an exchange of fire means they have to back away from this angle, lest they be overwhelmed by multiple forces of fire. Forsaken. They found themselves a good little spot to try and leverage here, but it is going to be checked on the jiggle by T-Birdle.
That spot not really being tested. It all falls down to Berserks now to get an entry. He's going to shift straight into the awaiting Mind Freak.
Berserks gets it done. Mind Freak falls on down. Flipside has already crafted themselves a wall to try and protect their plant. But Devi's going to move on through. That's going to make it easy. Berserks is going absolutely huge. And it comes down to Blaze to make this work. Look from the back, though. Forsaken is entering into your territory. Can you beat Berserks? You bet that you can. Now you have Blaze and T-Birdle to deal with, but T-Birdle's too fast when it comes to the draw. 1 versus 2. Benkai is going to fall, and that's an equalizer from Boom.
Oh, Harry, it's getting closer and closer, isn't it? The reinvestment comes from Paper Rex. They can afford it, sure. Do they consider the glass cannon op being on Benkai dropped to Forsaken? I assume the lack of buyers, they're absolutely thinking it'll be a fun thing to have a crack at. But no, in order to get that op, you want armor with it, you want the utility. They take that bullet, they bite the bullet, they forego their lead, go for a shaky buy where they buy down to about 2k, and then use that on sheriffs, marshals. For now, Berserks, who will be ready to pull out the knives, is going to realise he'll be against the bonus.
And worrying for Paper X fans. Boom aren't just winning on tactics, Boom are winning gunfights. And that's somewhere where they likely thought that Forsaken and Jing had a significant advantage.
Oh, look, could be Berserks. These knives, they're going to be so important. Let's see where he puts them.
Where will they be placed for now? Tracked means that they're just going to crouch on down until the pings are done. No second attempt, please, says Berserks. Forsaken round the back, though. They've already won 1 duel, and that's given them the knives themselves. Blaze might catch some of these. A quick dash away. The attempt to chase right here. It's an anime battle. Knives versus knives. The healing's been delivered, but Berserks has hit exactly what they wanted to. They've taken out their counterpart. They've called themselves the Alpha Jet. They say Jet Canyon in the chat, but not really. And now Mind Freak, the next line of defense. The Musketeer with the rifle. Doesn't see any pings. In fact, is aiming on the wrong verticality here to deal with the Jet. They whiff one onto Berserks. No. They whiff a second. Oh, it's whiff city, baby. And Devi, maybe they can take up Berserks. They're so low at the moment. A single body shot should be able to do it. Waiting on the heal right here. It's going to be given on over. Flipside is going to call out the location. I believe Berserks is now out of knives, but that doesn't matter. They've got a Sheriff to try and play with, and the Sheriff tends to be enough. Blaze now in a 1-player attempt at the plant. Will be good. This rush mine's coming from the back, and that makes it easy.
Yeah, that spike as well. A little bit of extra cash. It won't go on this. Boom. They now face a 9-8 scoreline. They've been given the lead. But here's the thing, Harry. That came at quite a cost. They lost a fair few players in that. And so their money isn't as good as you'd want it to be, having won 4 of the last 5 rounds. There are ults available. They've got Hunter's Fury. More importantly, they have that Viper's Pit. Something I expect will be seen deployed from Benkai to start this round. For the most part, let's see if they choose to push into the Viper's Pit to clear out Benkai, or if we're going to be seeing more of a rotation, of pivots even, in mid.
Reserved location there. Oh, Blaze. They might be able to get a freebie here onto Benkai. And elsewhere, Devi and Forsaken have fallen. Paper Rex, this was their buy. This was supposed to be the turnaround. Jing needs to go absolutely huge, but Frostmine wins that even when they're unaware. Oh, everything Krem is going wrong. Mind Freak was just looking to save. They get wall banged in the head by Flipsider. The Sage versus Sage Alpha duel. Paper Rex have been ruined.
Oh, Harry. Paper X now are in a lot of trouble. This is their map pick, remember, and, well, for now, Berserks is running them a mock, accompanied by Frostbite and Blaze. All of them really putting out the big numbers here, and what a time to do so in your semi-finals of the Royal SEA Challenge now. A shaky buy from Paper X. It's them, I don't want to say grasping at straws, but more preparing for what could be a Hail Mary next round.
Mindfreak already feels the pressure given over as Berserks. They found themselves some speed, and now look at this. The mass exodus of A. They believe it to be B, and there's no reason not to at this moment. A large investment given over thus far. Mindfreak gonna have to try and reload, and here comes one of the biggest tools in the box here. Multiple pings. Divide will find flipside. That's a good start right now, but I don't think they're gonna get anything off the back of this. Out comes the Viper's Pit. And while the penetration on that Sheriff is good, it won't be finding the vulnerable Viper. Goodbye. They can line this shot up, but Blaze knows not to pick that again. One shoulder's all they needed. 3 members of Paper X left alive on the Seco. Benkai has got themselves a judge, and they could just dive into the pit, but this wall makes things a bit more complicated. Oh, that's a good start. That is a great start, Kremer. Down to 1 HP. Benkai will just duck out for the moment. Get their HP back, and then move on in again. Still no spike plant has been given over. And the usage of a lockdown here as well. Against what was an eco buy, this is a huge investment from Boom. And maybe a touch too much, but they can't afford to fumble this. One player's been detained. But if you go looking for it, you're going to meet the judge. Benkai gets themselves to second. Yes, it will be reported back. But Taybodal now, all by themselves. They put themselves down. One of these. Benkai's found a little bit more.
Kills the wrong person.
Oh, the sniper for judge.
Oh,
Benkai. Benkai. What was that?
They just shut down Boom with a handful of sheriffs, the odd judge here, and this is the thing I don't quite like from Boom there. They committed to be there without your Sage. It's so important. We said in the pre-game, you need your Sage alive or B just doesn't work. In that case, Sage died and it just doesn't. You have to try and outmaneuver a judge at point blank on a right angle like that. There's no way you survive that. Paper X, what a round and what a punishment of Boom, who because they committed that Viper's Pit, they felt like they had no reason to back off. They felt like they couldn't. Now the other Viper's Pit comes up.
Forsaken gets pinged. And so they have to back off. Oh man, look at that hump. That's a big hump right there.
That's a massive hump.
I wonder where Benkai could be. It looks so weird from Forsaken's perspective.
It's like
and this is going to make A lot less palatable.
Divide. He's almost inviting this push of Frostmind and Tebotol over to B here, but what this position means is that Mindfreak is so alone on B right now.
Mindfreak isolated. 1 versus 3. And they're up against rifles as well, so it's by no means an easy one and done. Up comes the wall here, trying to slow it on down. They heard the updraft. That's 1. But 1 is all it'll be.
That's the Sage.
And Berserks stay alive. But without that Sage, things have gotten a little bit more complicated over here. You move straight into Forsaken's line of sight. And they have control of this B site now. A drop down? Maybe. Nope, never mind. Berserks was found by Jing. Suddenly, though, Paper X. It's a 1 versus 2. Forsaken's all alone. They might be able to get the drop here on Taybodal. But, oh, the timing just isn't there. Taybodal gets a 4K in the round. And now they're closer than ever to match point.
Oh, Harry. That is a... When you lose your Sage, stop going B. You will just get picked trying to push into this. The problem is, though, in this case, Boom, they punish Paper X for maybe being a little bit too smart as they try and flank through that upper connector into Kitchen. They end up taking a lot of casualties. For now, Paper X, look at their money. There just isn't any. They have to drop down to pistols. There's the odd Vandal there to assist it, but it's not great. Boom, they have the money, they have the investment, and for now, this could be their shot at trying to hit match points.
Sheriffs, shorties, And a singular Vandal on the hands of Jing. It's been a slow game for Jing. This is usually their stomping ground. But maybe here is where they can be the hero, where they can reclaim that mojo, find the juju once again.
Xerxes hears all of this movement as well. He knows full well that there are players on this site awaiting a push. Jing, he almost invites them to fight him. He almost invites them to swing on him just so he can have a crack. Let me at him. Let me at him, he says to his IGL, but no.
Oh, let me at him. Let me at him.
Sit back. Be careful. Benkai, the shorty, is going to be the first point of contact, no matter how much Jing protests here.
Benkai sits within their own orb, waiting for someone to drop on down. Jing takes a swing behind this orb themselves before moving up high. The Empress is popped. Jing needs to hit, but instead they're going to be catching headshots from Berserks. Flipside has put down their wall to allow for an easy plant. And as expected, this is going all the way of Boom. Unless Devi can come up with some real magic on this Sheriff. They've seen Blaze's head. They're unable to connect, though. And this rifle that was purchased by Jing can't be found. Devi, a little bit spicy, a little bit crispy with it, maybe. For one ref, I don't know what our equivalent for one Deke is. Now we've got their friend player, but even more still. 2 kills are better than none, Kremer.
That it is, and for Boom, that is a perfect way to hit match point. Bear in mind that your opponents have no money. Even if you lose a round, killing 4 of them, they're going to be left with kind of a ramshackle buy from a banjaxed crew, as Boom face a ult advantage going into this. Not only do they have the res on Flipside, but the knives on Berserks with the Viper Spit about to come online on Tebotol. For Paper X, it's not quite there yet. 2 from the Hunter's Fury, 2 from the knives. Jing expended the Empress last round before they died. The one thing they do have going in their favour, though, is they do have that res available.
Do or die now for Paper X. This is their map pick. This is their big boy map. Jing at least remains hidden for now. On top of this screen, they will be unnoted by the drone. They hear the war drums of Vandals again and again. Even seeing those pings, they are not keen. Oh no, Mind Freak. The res is gone. So too is the Sage. It's one of the rifles you really needed to hold on to. Remember, even if they win this round, they need to string it together into 2 more. Jing prepares. The wall comes back up. They will drop down themselves. Can anyone even catch contact? Forsaken is instantly slain. So too is Jing. All of your hopes and dreams for Paper X are falling apart before your eyes. It's a long commute for the Viper to make their way over, and Devi's already had problems. Up against this Viper's Pit, it's looking nearly impossible. 2 versus 4. This would be a monumental achievement if it could happen. It's not looking likely. Devi, dare they jump in the pit? The alarm bot here afflicts him with a vulnerable. They're even missing on the robots, Kreber. It's becoming too much to bear. The pressure, it's mounting. An attempt here to spam, but Frostmind identifies and Frostmind kills. Moving into the midst of 4. Benka jumps in the pit.
Harry.
And they're going to be punished by Boom for doing so.
What on earth is happening? We face an incredible shutdown. Boom. Let's be honest, they went into this as underdogs, and they wipe Paper X on their map pick. 13-9, by no means was it one-sided, but that attacking side sure as hell looked dominant. That was Paper X's map pick. Let that sink in. Boom. They're about to move to their home ground of Ascent, and for Paper X, it's a map that has given them a lot of trouble, not only in their previous games, but even up to today, they've been struggling. Have the hours between their last match been enough for them to fix it, or are we going to be seeing Boom transition to the finals to play against Southbuilt? We're going to have to see. We're going to go to a quick little break. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game.
ourselves in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Let them keep coming back, 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 keep coming back. Of things we know. We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always
there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain.
I know my limits. You can break me down, but I will take till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away. To see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away. To see you again.
Harry, we just saw Boom upset Paper Rex 13-9 on their opponent's map pick. Paper Rex now need to, I would say, tiptoe their way onto Ascent, a map that they had a lot of problems with earlier against Sharper, and now moving into Boom's selection of Ascent, hoping that Boom play Ascent just that bit worse than Sharper did, because if they play better, then Paper Rex are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's worrying. When you drop Ascent to Sharper, Sharper are not a bad team. But, I mean, they're not Boom tier, apparently. And this is very worrying. It's only a best of 3, Crema. Let's hope that Paper Rex, in the 2 hours, 3 hours break they had since the last time they played Ascent, figured out how to.
Let's hope in the kind of 5-10 minute break we had, they figured out how to recover from losing their map pick. Because if tilt starts to set in now, then it's over. They need to find a way to stay calm, keep level-headed, and try to move into this like it's a new map, like it's a fresh best of 1 against a team you know that you're better than. Over on Icebox, Forsaken, he was nowhere to be seen. He had a really, really slow map. Ascent, a bit more favouring of the ops, so this is his chance to take that shot at redemption.
Well, they may think that they're better than Boom, but I feel like Boom. They're emboldened by the success that their new pickups have brought to them. Tay-Birdle and Berserks have been on fire for Boom. Indonesia's finest. Coach Meow went far and wide, breaking up lesser teams, crumbling them to their constituent parts so they could gather the Indonesian Infinity Gems of Valorant. And it appears, Crema, to finally be paying dividends.
So they kind of clutch all of them in their gauntlet. They're hoping that this could be their chance.
Is Meow Thanos?
Meow's great. He's one of the fun coaches. He jokes around with us, and I quite like it because it's a way of keeping your team sort of. It stops pressure setting in with humour. For now, Boom, they go for a very heavy push in mid, right into a stack.
Forsaken, keeping it real, but Flipsider is becoming a bit of a problem here on the KO. Jin can at least avoid this fragment. And oh my goodness, they never saw Predator coming! Mind Freak, how did they allow that to pass? Where were they?
That Mind Freak, that's a massive miscom. Flipside is now for 4. This is a perfect position to be in. They don't have to worry about any Killjoy utility, not at all. Instead, the only thing that separates the two of these players is aim. Flipside, he's already proven he has it.
Ghost versus Ghost. A little bit of an advantage on HP for Mind Freak. And 1 star to work with. Mind Freak will have accuracy taken away from a drop, but they have managed to make it down to ground level. And now, oh, Flipsider finds their 4th, and Flipsiders have themselves a game so far.
What a round from Flipsider to go ahead, take that 4K, go 1-0 up. I don't speak any of these languages, but I feel like the chat right now is they're having fun from the looks of it. And when you are talking in the chat like that, being able to make sure that you don't tilt at all is so important. Bear in mind that for Paper Rex, this is like prime position to tilt it. Like this is where you tilt. Having lost your map to Sharper, now having lost your opening map to Boom, if you could stay level-headed, I genuinely think they could actually close this out and upset forces to a 3rd. However, for Boom, push comes in through mid. It worked earlier. Granted, it was messy. Why not try it again now?
Give it a go. Maybe this time we'll we'll watch that door a little bit more closely. Blaze is making their way down here virtually uncontested. They do make some noise here, and while they're reloading, that's when they could be at their most vulnerable. They will be caught in this corner. Jing's going to start moving on forward for Frenzy. This range is good enough. Damage has been done. And that's going to be a quick heal, recovery of the weapon. And now things just got a touch more complicated for the attacking team. They still have themselves an advantage. But Jing, with a Spectre, could change everything. Mind Freak stays on the other side of the door, waiting for Jing to arrive. They need to be the key. They need to be the secret. That's yet another. The Dismiss gives them a touch of safety as they try to once again find their entries. Moving in off the back of Mind Freak. They were too late to catch out Berserks. And we need to take out Timmy as well. The head of the Jet is shown. Jing swaps over to a Frenzy of range. Why doesn't Mind do that? They pick up the Bulldog. What a performance! This is the Jing that Paper Rex needed on Icebox!
Absolutely, there's just a single bullet left in that Bulldog as well. We knew it was going to come down to that same Spectre. And Paper Rex, they punish Boom there. And for Boom, yeah, bear in mind, they had the communication that there were 4 players in mid. That comm was there. Instead, it was a very shaky push. I would have expected it to be faster, and then an attempt to try and swarm Mind Freak over in Gardens, so you then have a position to work with. Instead, that hesitation, that moment from Flipside, it's a hard clear wide, means that you have a Paper Rex who have now upset you on your force buy. You're now down to Sheriffs, and I mean, you've got to try and mimic that.
A little bit of a dirty spray there from Forsaken. Up against all of these pistols, they do have to be worried a tiny bit. Look at their bit of a pace on him. Okay, they are just going to rain over mid here, but I've got a feeling that Boom just wanted this to be over quickly.
What an opening there, and once again, we see such a strong position from these players. I mean, Boom, they move into the best buy they can do. Couple of Vandals here or there. They actually already have the null command available on Flipside, thanks to that pistol round success he had on top of the spike plant and then dying afterwards. Now we have Forsaken and Co. The knives are available. The Empress is ready on Jing. It's the duelists of Paper Rex. That is their headline. That is their star. Their Polaris of this side. And as they both prepare their aggression on A, their signature of this series, it's Blaze to open up on B.
Well, the null command, it won't complicate too much here. Mind Freak's actually just going to run this. I think Mind Freak might be having a couple of connection issues at the moment. Just a little bit of shaky aim. Still getting better now. The null command will result in a taken B site. And a pretty well-balanced post plant here as well, with both Blaze and Sabertle playing in B main. They're going to have to be cleared out, and it's going to be down to Forsaken to do that. But first, they have to deal with the alarm bot. It's already going to be popped. Won't give over vulnerable. Forsaken now going to start walking this. There's the first ping. There's the first hit, but Sabertle's good on the refrag. The trade is solid. Mind Freak playing now from Market. Frostmind, do they want to try and swing this? They see where one is. They anticipate where Frostmine's going to play, but they get caught midway through their drop, and so it's easy clap on the duels for Boom.
Like you said, easy clap on the duels. It's down to stellar positioning as well. They have 1, 2, 3. Each player takes their duel in a kind of synchronization of stars, and like that, they're able to equalize at 2-2. Really strong after plant from Boom there to be able to hold both B main as well as that forwarded angle on that sort of left side of Boathouse, so you can try and extend, so you can trade off one another. Now we see the full investment, the proper full investment of Paper Rex. So Forsaken, he's got that big gun that we all love him for.
The operator in hand is actually going to be playing potentially here to trade out with Jing. They send out a shot and then they just leave. Maybe trying to bait in some overwhelming firepower here towards Jing. And Forsaken, oh, they catch so much poke here. Devi is down. Oh, Berserks. They strike back. Every single duel is being won by Boom. Jing needs to try and make up for the lack of it here.
Oh,
they get blinded from the back. A secondary blind as well. Flipside is just bullying him. But now Jing going up against multiples. Can they get anything? That's one. But one is all they'll find. Berserks has got their third. And Benkai all alone with 600 credits. This might have to be a save, lads.
It may have to be. And Harry, it's when it comes down to these duels, the ability to trade, the ability to work as a team is where Boom seem to thrive here. Benkai tentatively pushing through heaven. A 3-man commitment under this means that for Benkai, there's no way he can take this duel one at a time.
Timmy could be put down. Opposite hell. Oh, there go the nano swarms. Benkai's definitely committed to this now. I think a little bit of noise was made on the drop. Now they can take their swing. They'll get one, but no more than that.
Just one, unfortunately, is not enough, Harry, when you're facing 3. With a 3-2 scoreline, Boom and Ale looking to put some distance between them and their counterparts. With Paper Rex, they do have tools available on the 2 duelists that haven't been used yet. There's one away from the Cosmic Divide on Mind Freak, but for Paper Rex, they're going to look longingly at the scoreboard, seeing not only do they have no money as a team, but more importantly, Boom, they've got 4 ults all readily available to be chucked at them in this round.
This is going to start to get a little bit sweaty. For Paper X, once again, Jing on the hero rifle is pushing themselves forward. That alarm bot survived the barrage of shock darts. Almost call them lightning darts, but not quite there yet.
They're shiny, they're electric, they do damage.
Forsaken versus Berserks. That's a miss. Oh, they've run out of knives. Oh,
that's
Kramer.
a lot of damage, Harry. That's
That's not good at all. And Jing's very low now.
Mind Freak
Do they
has to go
use
huge.
the Empress?
There it goes.
Mind Freak doesn't go huge. Divine now with the Sheriff. They've done some nasty stuff before with this. Inside that gravity well, they just keep their cool. And now they're going to walk while vulnerable. Oh, but they can't connect the headshot. It's all down to Jing once again. The Empress is popped. Jing sends out the Leer. It's time to do or to die. They need to try and ascertain a target. They're trying to avoid the shock dart, but it's an absolute massacre. The bodies of Paper Rex litter the ground like it was a great extinction event. But it wasn't the meteor that caused it. It was Indonesia.
Oh, Harry, every grave digger dies. And in this case, Paper Rex, they've been digging some graves today, specifically for Sharper. Unfortunately, Boom is the one to bury their body, as the investment is there from Paper Rex. They have those Vandals, but they expended a lot there. Jing had that Empress. Forsaken, he had those knives. Despite going for the updraft in the retake, Tabotul just shuts him down. And for Boom, still ready with 4, readily available to bring hellfire onto Paper Rex.
We've seen some interesting lineups before with these fragments to actually take out the default sites of the lockdowns, and I'd love to see if Flipsider has any of those on the defensive side. A barrage of flashes are actually sent on out here, and that forces Mind Freak to give up the site, play it a little bit more conservatively with Benkai in tandem. Jing here has already taken some damage. The door is shut up on their face. They'll take it out from a safe range here. Forsaken, wondering how they're going to try and make their move into this. In goes the drone. But they're considering moving elsewhere. Obviously, with this lockdown in place, everyone has to leave. I don't know if Devi's going to make it. Yes, they will. No blocking right here. Everyone makes their way back in now. A fresh Cosmic Divide is placed on down. Forsaken and Jing need to activate right now. They've taken away anyone who might be trying to defend from the backside, isolating duels from heaven to hell. Forsaken moves on in, tries to get this drop here onto Teboda, but they're unable to win that one. Benkai's taken out from multiple directions. A more Divine Mind Freak may have found themselves a couple of frags. It's down to Frostmind to just continue breaking them. Paper Rex, they're all out of sorts, Kremer. Who is this Boom? And when did you turn up?
Where did they come from exactly? In the group stage, let's be honest, they looked lackluster. They were just a team that qualified. They weren't taking headlines like Louvre was to go without
Third
dropping
seed,
a bat.
Kremer.
Yeah, third
The
seed.
fourth seed had 4 draws and no wins.
Yeah, you just weren't expecting Boom to show up like this. All of a sudden they have, and they look unstoppable. Benkai, Sheriff in hand, there just isn't the money available. He's hoping the close angle will do it, but the info's there. There's the opening. It's all on Divide.
It's all falling apart. And unfortunately, even at this range, they can't hit the wallbang that they need. The door will likely be closed. Divide finds themselves alone. They've just got flashes thrown at their face. It looks so silly from a perspective of Divide. Can Jing do anything with a Sheriff in hand? Maybe a kill onto Frostmind here would be viable. As they find themselves within this smoke. They feel the breeze of bullets whizzing past them. And once again, Paper Rex find themselves in a very tough position. A refreshed smoke here means that Jing has no idea what's on the other side. The only thing they can do is try to pierce on through. Their presence will be sensed. Both duelists, in fact, are known to be on this angle, so moving through here is unlikely to be done when looking to save weapons. Frostmind falls on down. Can Jing get any more than this? They get themselves a touch more health, but they run out of bullets. Forsaken tries to get a touch more as Jing gets the reload. Flipside is going to die too. Everyone from Boom will fall, but nothing more than that, Kremer. Sure, you can frag out, but you're a little bit too late.
Yeah, unfortunately, your bank account doesn't care about the state of your survival. As for Paper Rex, another investment here, sure, but that op on Forsaken, that sort of key weapon for him still hasn't had the facilitation to come online. With Boom now, a ult advantage going into this. More importantly though, over on our previous map of Icebox, it was this moment, it was this point where Paper Rex started turning it around and they started making it equal.
All right, Jing just getting ahead of the curve right here. That's one down, but they are in the ult, so they are resurrectable. Jing falls now. So too does Forsaken. The backup was no good, and the resurrection's going to be forthcoming. Divine next on the chopping block. When they swing, what will they find? They'll only find the business end of Blaze's Vandal. Blaze is out for vengeance. They're looking for a sight. They're letting their gun do the talking, Kremer, and their gun only knows one really loud word.
Bang.
Exactly. Or Boom, depending on who you're asking.
Behind Freak. A lone back site is expecting them to come in here. He's going to have the rotation of the Killjoy. Sure, lockdown's available, but is that enough?
I'm sorry. I got you with that one.
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, Benkai 1-2. Oh, nothing more than that. Paper Rex once again fall on down 2-7. I can't quite believe my eyes. When we looked at the teams coming into this, Kremer, being the VCT Andes that we were like, okay, Boom easily win their group, Paper Rex win theirs, and they'll be the final. Here they are in the semi-final. We were expecting this to be a cataclysmic clash of the best that Southeast Asia has to offer. But Boom, look a class above.
That is, right now, this is looking so damn strong. You need to remember, Paper Rex, these 2 rounds they've got were off the back of kind of poor buys of Boom. They're at a stage now where the quality of their buy doesn't matter. They have all the money in the world. They're already doing damage to these players as they prepare an assault into mid.
Oh, Jing was just about escape. They were so close to dying to random spam right there. 70 HP remains. At least there is another ultimate good to go. Jing is the only member of their team who's really been able to consistently win a gunfight.
Now we await an attack. Slow slow start to this round, and for the first time in a while, Paper Rex haven't foregone a man advantage. So for a 5-on-5 retake, they genuinely could go into this looking pretty strong. Or better still, if they can invite Boom into one of their crossfires. As they back off, Flipsider, he may be the key to the attack over on A, the spearhead that breaks the armor. In this case, with 40 seconds left, this assault is going to be so instrumental to either a one-sided half or maybe the inklings of a comeback.
Flipsider's got their lineups ready, baby. There's the first flash, there's the second, and that covers the entry here of Berserks. They're going to be looking for Mind Freak, and they're going to find them easily off the back of that ping. Still Forsaken on the site. They've got themselves 2. Could it be 3? Yes, you bet it can. Forsaken, the number 1 Radiant. Is it going to be 4? They can find themselves 5, but Taybodal says no. Running low on time now. The lockdown surely might catch this unfortunate just by the skin of their teeth, but now moving on in. It's unwinnable. All Benkai has to do is hold on back, and Paper Rex will finally get themselves around, but damn, Krem, damn.
They finally make it 3, sure. But that was at quite an expensive round. If they can mimic this success, I genuinely think they're in a perfect position. If they can't, though, Harry, if there is a world where we see Boom actually just close it out from here, make it 8, ruin the economy of Paper Rex now. Because they've won a round, they lose that loss bonus, flying down to 0 on all but 2 of their players, and only an Ares available for Divide. If they lose this, they're up a very certain creek with a very shallow panel.
All right, Jing has to decide while suppressed, do I go for this? I haven't got Dismiss. I haven't got Devour. I haven't got Leah. What I do have is aim, and a very specific set of skills.
Freak having to back off. As much as he would like to show us a very specific set of skills, in this case he won't be finding anyone, and well, killing, that's another matter.
Jing, they've avoided the attention of the drone for now, but they are going to have to give up this area. An attempt, I believe, to destroy the lockdown. However, there's the counter.
Flank.
They knew where Divide was going to cast it from. Blaze was simply better, but Forsaken, they are nothing to sniff at. Coming around the back, they found Taybodal, but again, Taybodal has ended the reign of terror that Forsaken brings to bear. And with 45 seconds, it's cardio time, Kremer.
That it is. I mean, with just 30 HP, no armor.
Oh, they're doubling down. A double dip.
I don't know if it's enough, Harry.
30 seconds left.
It might be. It might be. Taybodal here. Surely they can't do it alone. They're going to be spotted by Timmy. The swing is good. 16 HP remains. Time to go running. Once again, cardio 2, baby.
Cardio 2.0. In this case, he actually he makes it to be here. I think Paper Rex may have misjudged how long it takes.
This is winnable, and that is worrying. 8-4 would be ideal here for Paper Rex if they could achieve it. Remember, they brought down to 0 on so many of their players. They need to try and play off each other well. They know how low this player is. It will have been reported back by multiple people who've done damage to Taybodal. But they are basically skin and bones. No muscle, no sinew is left. They need to start picking up the pace. A tap on the bomb. It's not even going to be peaked right now.
Oh, that's
Taybodal's
so
got
smart.
nerves of steel. They've got nerves of steel. They look for the first, but they're unable to find it. And just in time, I believe, Paper Rex are going to be able to find the victory. With 1 second remaining. Oh.
Exactly a second left, Harry.
Squeaky bum time, as we'd say in the UK.
That was very, very much squeaky bum time. In this case, Paper Rex, they have their full investment. That Marshall is, I guess, the closest you're going to get to a full investment. It's the closest you're going to get to a not. In this case, let's see what Boom can do, as they've stagnated pretty badly to the final stage of this first half. And it means that if we see Paper Rex actually take the opening of this second, if they take the pistol, it's not far before they come back. So what originally was dominant from Boom may just turn into a momentary lead.
Jing once again suppressed Forsaken. Oh, that's a lovely little lineup for the knives, but Frostmine's already deserted the area, bro. No dramas. Jing gets their abilities back. Look at this deep penetration here from Berserks. Can Divide catch it? Yes, they can. The tip of a spear is gone. And now Blaze will replace them at the head of the phalanx, as the Spartans used to do. They heard Divide leaving, but they have no idea about Blaze's presence. Forsaken having fallen down. It's not a huge deal, but they're really going to miss Jing, who did have a pretty solid loadout. Blaze moving up. Divide wins that. Not without bruising, but they will. And now 3 versus 2. The attack on A is going to be beginning.
That Spark will go down as well, which is going to put a bit of a spanner in the works of Paper Rex. Bear in mind that they don't have abilities. This is all down to aim, all down to limited and kind of small arms utility to try and topple this very well dug in side of Boom.
The Nano Swarm stops Devi and Benkai from moving forward for the moment, so instead... Oh, they've actually sucked in. They've sucked in the drone, so they can't do anything more. Devi gets themselves a third, but Flipsider finds their man by breaking through the window, John Wick style. And that's going to be a beautiful half there for Boom.
Being able to end your half on a victory as well gives you that extra momentum for the pistol, which is the most important round here. If the pistol's won by Paper Rex, they take that anti-eco, ends up with only 2 rounds being the separation of these sides. If Boom take it, we're going to end up seeing a Paper Rex who are clawing and like, just trying to find anything by their fingernails just to try and stay in this game. However, both Frostbind and Blaze, it looks like aggression on B may be their start, maybe their secret sauce to what could be a recipe for disaster.
Skirmishes down B. The battles for B. They're likely going to be met here by Timothy. They know that Benkai's going to be ahead of the curve, and so they do enough damage there. However, Berserks feels the pressure pushed upon themselves. Flipsider's been an absolute monster. Flipsider continues to just be the thorn in the side. Jing sends out a couple of shots into Berserks. But still they have to worry, because Flipsider's coming around the other side. An attempt to clear out these angles. And now Forsaken was the one with the spike. They struck out so far from their friends, Crema.
It's been red as well.
Jing has 13 HP with this frenzy. Flipsider puts one in the head. Oh, this is looking so bad for Paper Rex.
9-4, the scoreline. Boom. They are looking so bloody strong now. This pistol round, that is what it took. That is what has just shut them down. We now see for Paper Rex, though, with Forsaken and Jing as duelists, pistol rounds aren't really... Sheriff rounds aren't really Sheriff rounds, are they? It's as if they have rifles. They're just that good with them, and have been that good with them all tournaments. Last map, though, makes me question that. And for Boom, bearing in mind that last time they went into an anti-eco like this, Jing shut them down instantly. That certainly ain't happening again now.
That's bullying. Jing is down. The big boy taken down by the little gun. The little op even. The Marshal just plinks away. Come and fight me. I dare you. Because guess who's waiting? Blaze is on the other side. The Nano Swarm here might force Blaze away. I think Blaze actually managed to take it out in advance. A headshot given over. Oh, the battle for mid is so thoroughly dominated by Boom.
Center for Harry, just 3 away from eliminating Paper Rex from the tournament and progressing to the finals to play against South Built Esports. That has got to be scary for Boom. Or for Paper Rex, bear in mind that for Boom, they went into this as heavy underdogs.
Could we be witnessing, Kramer, the end of the Jurassic period? The Rex may well fall before the pride of Indonesia. Jing wants to once again make a concerted effort to control mid. Look at the speed here. The flash was so good. It means that Forsaken's already down. Berserk's managed to do that with only a Spectre, so we didn't really care that much about the trade. Getting rid of the capacity for this overarmed team to make it onto site, weakening their entry, is worth so much to Boom.
That flashbang's just perfect as well, and that also is going to put it's going to put the fear of God in Paper X, knowing full well the flash can absolutely catch him out. To Botal though, good for one.
They win that with the Spectre. better. Tobodal now, even more pressure. The vulnerable. That could have changed everything. 3 versus 3. This is not what you want to see. Look at Flipsider coming up around the back. There's the knife coming out. That's going to be multiple agents suppressed. Your utility is gone. Your lives are gone. Your hope, your economy, your will to win may well be gone. Mind Freak's alone, and Mind Freak will die alone.
Frostmind, ice in his veins. He may be frost in mind, but he's ice in nature. What a round that was from him to trigger the vulnerable, to abuse that, to act as the Iceman for Boom, to give them their 11th, a breath away from match point, and you're doing it against the broken, forsaken economy of Paper Rex.
Sheriff's all around, baby. Let's see what can be done. Paper Rex. Surely they'll refuse to die here. This would be an ignominious end to a team that dominated so thoroughly in their playoffs that losing a single map seems like the honestly the first book of the fall of the Roman Empire seemed to happen when Southport took away that iconic icebox.
He's getting so much information here. He's tagged one. He's going to tag both members. Not quite second, but the info is enough. Over on A, there's a bit of damage done to Forsaken off Tame Otol, who just sees an attack coming and is kind of wary of it. That's actually going to trigger the rotation now, when for Flipsider, he's called to action once again in Gardens.
Flipsider, no slouch, especially in this series. This has been Flipsider's almost career-defining moment right here. Is to be able to avoid that shock dart, and that's going to be easy to take out Divide. This could be match point right here, and I'm very sure that it will be. Forsaken's got one with the Sheriff. The blind comes through from Flipsider as they confirm the presence with the knife, but Blaze doesn't need any confirmation. Only my gun will do.
Oh, Harry, match and series point for Boom. A victory here would send you to the finals against South Built Esports. Paper Rex, as they want to come back, they need to play stellar. They need a Herculean attempt at a comeback. And I tell you what, it's very doable. If any team could do it, it would be Paper Rex. But against a Boom, who right now are looking unstoppable, it's going to be a tall order.
A team on the mend. A fresh build from the Thanos of Meow. The best parts of all of Indonesia gathered into one overwhelming force. Berserks claimed. Flipsider, Frostmine, Blaze, Tobodal claimed. I'll take you all. And together, we will build ourselves an empire. Forsaken now, playing from upon high. Can they end Berserk's reign? No! No, they can't! Match point gets ever closer. Mind Freak leads the charge now. They have to be the tip of a spear because Jing's coming in on the other side. Jing fumbles. The Podals found this, and Mind Freak. Now it's down to them once again, but they can't get it done. Blaze stands in the way. Venkai's all alone, and the age of the dinosaurs has passed because the age of Indonesia has begun.
The Empire, well, it may be ruled, it may be expansive. It's under an iron tyranny run by the likes of Boom. They blast their way into the finals. We look at the kill feed, actually, from Boom. No one played particularly well. It's just all of them pulling their weight. 4 kills separate your bottom and top fragger. Every single player was pulling their weight. Every single player was dealing damage to Paper Rex. Well, what a game from a talented side of individuals. As you mentioned, Meow, the coach, he plucked them one at a time from their respective teams. He decided, we're going to make a man out of you. And in this case, the Huns were very much defeated.
Tremor, we must do a winner's interview. I refuse not to talk to Boom. I need to figure out how they did it. I need to figure out where everything went right. We're going to organize that, and we'll be right back with you after this break.
me out with your smile. Like the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
Hello. Welcome back to another interview. We have a winner's interview with a mighty boom, having toppled the titans of Paper Rex. Guys, that was an incredible match. How you feeling about it?
We feeling so grateful because we didn't expected to win so easily, but we expect to win, right? I'm so proud of the team. I'm so happy to can finally beat Pepperex after so long. Yeah.
Obviously, you guys expected to win, but not that easily. Did you guys expect to win Icebox, knowing that that's one of the most powerful Paper X maps? And we thought that you guys would win on Ascent, but maybe not so much on Icebox.
I think we quite surprised when they picked the Icebox because there is one of our comfort map, like one of our best map too. And then we quite surprised when they pick it. Of course, we expected to win because that was one of our best map. And then I think that's it. Yeah.
Hey, out of interest, this goes to you, Flipsider. What was the thought process behind the KO pick on Ascent? Was that something you had been practicing, or was it something you just wanted to try? What's the reasoning?
Back then we were playing Sky, I think, and then our coach wanted to try different thing, and then we thinking about picking KO, and then when we practice, it went pretty well on the practice, and then when we playing on the tournament too, we are really confident with the agent. I'm so confident with the agent how we should play with the agent. Yeah, I think that's why we end up with picking KO. Actually, it was what you call it? It's like testing on practice, but it went well. That's why we pick it.
Yeah, you've been scrumming it a lot. Blaze King, you've been with this team the longest, it seems. Is there been anything that you've done personally to try and make the new players feel more at home in the comms?
Actually, I didn't do anything, but coming from the new roster now, like I'm feeling we have now more firepower, but yeah, cannot say anymore. I'm just too happy with this roster.
Fair enough.
Tibotal, you're kind of playing the sort of Astra, the Viper. You're not expected to frag out as much as you do, but you end up kind of combating duelists in frags. Is that kind of play style? Like, what do you do different to other Vipers, to other Astras, to set yourself up for so many kills?
I don't know, because I used to use duelist, right? Then I changed to controller. I just play my style, Just play, just pump for them and go.
Just win.
The duelist doesn't matter what you're playing. It's like, I'm a duelist player. I just have smokes now. What's the difference, bro?
Yes.
You guys have been working with Meow, I believe, for a couple of months now. What kind of difference has Meow made to a team, and how hands-on are they in terms of coaching before a game compared to just like generating overarching strategies?
Going up. I think what make our coach good is he keep us as a team, of course, like mentally and both in game. So I feel like his impact is kind of big in our team. Like even back then with the old roster. So yeah.
Out of interest, you guys, are you in a team house or are you in a boot camp at the moment?
We are in the boot
We
camp.
are in the boot camp
team
now.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, team house, gaming house.
How long have you guys been there?
4 months? No.
The new roster is just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Me and
2 weeks.
yeah, me and Blaze King here for
Like
like
4
5
months.
months. 4 months,
5
4
months.
months or 5 months, right? Because we play the LCQ and then the qualifier. What is that? The Southeast Asia.
The Indonesian
Yeah,
qualifier and the
but
Southeast Asia.
our new player just came like 2 weeks ago, and then we just started practice like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Do you guys think it improves your performance to be in the gaming house together?
Oh, of course. It really helped us a lot because we can talk about everything in a person. Because right when you in your house, you can do whatever you want. Like you can sleep, you can lay down on your chair. You're not really serious what your teammate talking about, you know. But in gaming
It
house, you can
also
see.
give you focus and the adrenaline, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like
the
when you
adrenaline.
clutch and then when you do something good and then you see like your teammates' face, that's give like heartwarming feeling, something like that.
Yeah, when they poggers at you.
Yeah, literally, yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Now, tomorrow, you guys are playing against South Build in the grand finals. Do you think you can beat them?
Of course.
If we can beat Pepperex, of course we can beat them.
Do you think it's going to be one-sided, or do you think it's going to be fairly close?
I don't really know, but
Not so very close,
yeah.
but close, I think. Yeah, not so very close, but
Not
tight game.
overtime, but close.
Not overtime,
Yeah,
but
not
close.
overtime.
Yeah.
13-10 maybe.
It's like 13-10, 3-0.
Do you have any words to say?
I'm
to your
joking.
fans?
I'm joking.
No bad manners, boys. No bad manners here.
I'm joking, guys. Okay.
do you have any words to say to your fans, to fans of Boom? I mean, to anyone who's still watching, having just seen you topple the likes of Paper Rex?
Okay, I'm gonna talk. I think for the fans out there, like supporting Boom, I'm saying like very thankful to you guys, always supporting us, also mocking us. But I do want to like the Indonesian supporter, like support us, the Indonesian team, like how to say, like we are the Indonesian team only in the tournament. I hope all the Indonesian can support us, you know, something like that. Yeah, but thanks for the support, guys. I love you.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for this interview. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a winner's interview with you tomorrow, assuming you can beat South Built Esports. We'll have to see, of course. That is tomorrow at, I don't know what time SGT. Is it 7?
I believe 6 p.m. Singapore time. 6 p.m. because it's 10
okay.
Yeah.
If
you're watching this in GMT, it's at 10 o'clock in the morning. If you're in Singapore, some point in the evening. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. That's all we have for you today. The action will continue tomorrow. You do not want to miss this grand finals. Rank 3 seed versus rank 4, having both toppled their own respective titans to get here. It's where we're going to see the ultimate showdown.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you